All right, what up, guys? We are live. We got Markus joining us shortly when he's done fucking some Aussie chick or whatever he's doing right now. But yeah, let the fun begin. So we're going to do some Q&A. So if you guys have good questions, get them in now. Don't wait until the end to ask your questions because then we're just never going to get to them. I try to kind of go in order, so get those questions in. And yeah, I don't know. What the fuck do you guys want to talk about while we wait for questions? What's trending right now? I've been binging on Explore with Us, so I don't follow like shit. I haven't followed shit in the last.
The Florida Attorney General.
Oh yeah, they started a preliminary investigation against Andrew Tate. It was.
Here's this crazy thing they used to do. This is a long time ago. They used to wait till you committed a crime and then they would start an investigation. But now Florida's so advanced, they went the other way. So for those of you who don't know, DeSantis is on the outs with Trump, and so because of that, he's made Tate a target. You know as well as I do, this is fucking stupid.
I don't know if I agree with any of that.
Okay, really? So let me ask you something. Does the Attorney General of the state of Florida have anything to do with what he would have done in Romania?
No, because one of the girls lives in Miami. So they're not going after him, the Romania stuff. They're going after him for the one victim who's in Miami. Maybe it's a bunch of BS, but the victim, they have jurisdiction. She lives in Miami.
Oh, come on. Then why didn't they go after him before? He's still a U.S. citizen in Romania. Why didn't they go after him before? Why did they all of a sudden choose to go after him now? Why did they all of a sudden choose to go after him now after the Trump administration goes over there and complains about his prosecution, and then magically the Attorney General of Florida magically decides to open a case magically after fucking DeSantis was caught flat-footed when he can't let him to the country? Bro, I don't care if he's guilty or not guilty. What I know is this is bullshit. Go ahead.
Do you want me to answer? Yeah, so the reason that I don't think they started investigation earlier is because it would have been pointless, because they probably just thought that he was just going to rot in the Romanian jail cell forever. So they didn't really see any point to it because, first of all, they didn't have jurisdiction over him.
Why didn't
So even if they did start investigation, even if it did turn out that he's guilty, they have no jurisdiction over him when he's not in Florida. So there was no point to it.
No. You sure they do? No, bro. He's an American. Here, I'm not here to debate. I'm here to educate. He's an American citizen.
Come back to America?
I mean, I'm not here to debate. I'm here to educate. He's an American citizen, and if he committed a crime with a woman in Miami, he can be prosecuted in the United States. Don't tell me shit about jurisdiction.
How are they going to punish him when he's in a third world country? Or
because they can extradite him. They can extradite him. They can extradite him, bro. You are
so far behind on trying to extradite him. Like, what would be the point of being?
Alex, I love you, but I have never met Alex. I love you, but I have never met somebody who is so politically blinded by everything you do. I swear to God, I am open. Hold on, Alex. I am open to, if new evidence comes out, to the possibility that he's guilty. You're not open to the possibility.
I totally am.
And you're not open to the possibility that this is a totally political move by the AG and the governor of Florida. You are. The fact that they didn't open this investigation.
Yeah, just show me some evidence. I could believe that, but so far the only piece of evidence we've shown is the fact that this investigation started when he touched down in Florida, which logically makes sense, because why would they start investigation when they have no jurisdiction over him?
Because we just debunked your jurisdiction.
He's never going to get out of Romania.
You're saying they don't have jurisdiction over Snowden because he's in Russia? They still wanted to get him back. You don't understand how U.S. jurisdiction works. That's why we have extradition treaties, dude.
Yes, because
they could have gotten him.
Snowden was a very different situation.
The UK specifically was going to try to try him on something specifically because your point is incorrect.
England is still trying to extradite him.
So my point is the idea that they weren't going to – they pressed charges because this was political. If DeSantis and Trump were cool, this would not have happened.
How does Trump have factor into this?
So Trump very much is pro-Tate. If you haven't seen this, he very much is. And because DeSantis is on the outs with Trump, it's so funny. You can't see past that. Like, no possibility could that be the case. It must be that your fair and just Attorney General of the state of Florida, after your fucking moron governor said that, your fucking moron governor said, Andrew Tate is not welcome here. Bitch, you're not the king of Florida. You don't own Florida.
He's a very good governor.
My position is pretty neutral right here. It's like, hey, listen, I don't know if he's guilty or not guilty of whatever the fuck.
I don't know if he's guilty or not guilty either.
But I do know that it logically makes sense for the Attorney General to do this when he lands in Florida. That's my position.
It would make sense for the attorney general to do this before he landed in Florida, and then use that evidence in cooperation with what was going on in Romania, and then get him extradited. That's what would have made sense.
Prosecutors often don't.
Totally political.
Prosecutors often don't actually pursue investigations when they think that it's going to be futile. Like when they think there's going to be no point to it. At that time, it looked like he was going to be in Romania forever. They probably thought that he was just going to die in Romanian jail stuff. What's the point
happened?
at that point?
Why did he go down in Romanian jail? What happened? What happened?
What
happened? I'm asking you what happened. Why was he with me 2 days ago? Why is he here in Vegas? Why? You tell me what happened.
Trump got him out. Trump put pressure on Romania to let him out. He's still under judicial review. He's still supposed to come back when his.
No. Well, hold on. So if he was in the United States, would he be under judicial review? Would you be able to hold him for 9 fucking months before you charged him? Is that how it would work?
I'm not a fan of that either. You're like jumping around so much. I'm not a fan of Romania holding him for 9 months.
I'm legitimately trying to help you. Alex, I'm legitimately trying to help you. You told me there was a 70% chance that you thought Kamala Harris was going to win. You think, bro, you are so blinded by your politics. Come on, man. Please do better, bro. Please be open to the idea that the attorney general is only doing this.
I already said that I'm open to the idea. I just haven't seen enough.
You definitely were not open to the idea. You weren't open to the idea until you come to this realization. They have jurisdiction.
The only piece of evidence you presented is coincidental.
No. The only piece of evidence I produce is that there is no evidence, that they held him for 3 years and charged him with nothing. Bro, at this point, even if he was guilty, even if he was guilty in the United States, they would have thrown these charges out by now, because you have to shit or get off the pot. In the U.S., you must produce the baby. You have 72 hours to charge him. You kept this motherfucker for 9 months. Bro, it's just so crazy.
I don't know why this triggers you so much. My position on this is
because when something so obvious is how stupid DeSantis is, and I like DeSantis more than I don't. I can't believe he stuck his dick in this. It's just very stupid. And the idea, this is such a one-sided, there's no two sides to this. It's so blatantly obvious that DeSantis has no place as the governor of Florida to say you're not welcome in Florida. Governor DeSantis, if you're watching this right now, and I hope you are, I can come to Florida anytime I want, because my fucking passport says that I'm a U.S. citizen, and you don't understand how the interstate commerce clause works. I can go anywhere I want. It is a fundamental right protected by the Supreme Court of the United States. And last time I fucking saw, Andrew Tate was born in Gary, Indiana. So stop, bro. You're wrong.
You maybe you're biased because you like Tate as a person. Like, don't you think that?
No, I was biased before I ever met him. I was like, this is ridiculous. Because here's the thing, dude. I have. This is going to come way out of left field. I have been a part of too many friends of mine growing up in Texas who were charged with crimes that they weren't guilty of, and because of the color of their skin, they're held for long periods of time, and there's charges are trumped up, and I've seen it over and over again. And I watch this shit, and I'm like, okay, damn, man, they got Andrew. Well, I guess he did something wrong. Well, I'll just wait. Next week will be the evidence. Okay, the week after that will be the evidence.
All right, wait, my mic was just fucked. All right, yeah. So yeah, if you want to go down,
you turn your mic gain down just a bit.
Is it too loud? Is this better?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It was really shitty before, right?
Let me ask you a question.
Wait, just hang on a second. Let me just fix my mic. Just Jesus Christ. All right, there we go. Is my mic good now, Austen?
It's good. It's a little loud, but it's fun.
Okay. Well, it'll make up for all the fucking shitty years of my mic sucking. Okay, so just a few things. Let me just go through like some things one at a time. So Andrew Tate was charged with many things in Romania. He's still under judicial review. So that's one thing. Then he's also being charged. So England's trying to extradite him. He has charges in England. The only reason that he was able to leave house arrest is because Trump put pressure on the Romanian government, because his son is a fan of. Because his son is a fan of. Wait, let me just finish.
Let me just nothing to do with that. Got it. Just so we're clear. DeSantis has nothing to do with that. Trump. Yeah.
I never said that. I don't know why. Like, we can't have a good faith conversation. Like, why do you insist on strawmanning me? Like, I'm not saying
that, bro. You literally said that. You said, "What does Trump have to do with Tate?" And then
I asked you a question. I'm not saying there's zero chance there's any kind of correlation. I'm asking you a question. There's a big difference. I don't know why you're getting so flustered and triggered about this.
Let me ask you a question. In August of 2022, when he's charged with kidnapping of those girls, and then the video comes out where you see the girls go out and grab a pizza and come back, did you think that was malicious prosecution, or did you think that he legitimately kidnapped those girls? What do you think?
I think that was a piece of counter evidence, yeah. I think in these situations, you have to weigh all the evidence pro and con. There's no smoking gun in this case.
Thank you. Wow, bro, you better be careful, or your friends are gonna fucking disown you for saying that shit.
Who are my friends?
Bro, let me explain. Let me explain something.
Wait, who are these friends? Who do you think I'm affiliated with?
Any progressive that's in this space that automatically thinks Tate is guilty, I don't know if he's guilty or innocent. I'm open to either side.
I don't know if he's guilty either.
What I'm telling you is, I keep waiting for them to. The way that this case is goes makes me feel 98, 99, 99.9% that he isn't guilty because, and by the way, let me say one other thing. If Andrew Tate turns out that he had some funny business with money laundering, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if you steal money from a corrupt.
What about him crypto rug pulling his audience? Do you care about that?
I don't. I mean, a million people have done it. If you can show me that he absolutely knew that it was going to be a rug pull, then maybe.
Yes, I can show you that. There's really good videos that cover this whole thing. He did it 3 times in the span of 2 weeks, and then he gaslit his audience and made it seem like it's their fault.
Here's
okay. I don't. That to me is different than human trafficking.
I'm not saying it's the same thing.
Okay, so I don't know. What I'm saying is, in the things that he's charged with in Romania, what I was like everybody else. I was like, damn, they charged him. Okay, let me learn more. I talked to Justin Waller. I talked to, some other people. I'm like, okay, you guys are close to him. You believe he's innocent. That's cool. So I'll just wait for the evidence. I listened to Patrick Bet-David. He's like, I remember he was saying, hey, let's just wait for the evidence to come out. Let's just, before we pass judgment. So a week goes by. Where's the evidence? 2 weeks, 6 months. Where's the evidence? A year. Where's the evidence? He let him out of jail. He's on house arrest. Where's the evidence? You take his crypto. You take all of his shit. Where's the evidence? There's a video showing that this girl goes out to grab a pizza. Waiting for the evidence. Then they have a tribunal. One of the judges says that the entire case should be thrown out. Waiting for the evidence. Judicial review. Waiting for the evidence. Then released from Romania to go back to the United States. But you think things are worse? You think things are worse? Then he lands in Florida. And DeSantis, who you just said before, has a problem with Trump. All of a sudden, magically, you're not welcome in the state of Florida.
Can you try to steel man my position? Because I feel like you're just straw manning me like left and right. Just steel man what you think my argument is. I can steel man your position very easily. Your position is that you don't know if he's guilty, but the way this trial has been going on makes you very suspicious, and you're leaning 98% that maybe he's not guilty, but you're not 100% sure. And also, you think it was highly inappropriate for DeSantis to make that statement, and you also think that the only reason, or most likely the reason, that this Florida investigation is happening is political because of DeSantis and Trump. Did I accurately sum up your position?
Yes, and your belief.
Try to sum up my position.
And your belief is that the Florida Attorney General assumed that he was going to get convicted based on evidence that you haven't seen, and neither has anyone else, and that was going to cause him to have to spend a long time in jail in Romania, which didn't happen. And then when he came here, the governor, the Attorney General, I'm sure for no political motivation whatsoever, just decided of his own volition to try to open an investigation on a U.S. citizen that just came back into the country. I'm sure that's what happened.
Yeah, so not exactly. So my position is that it logically follows that the Florida investigation would begin when he lands in Florida, because then they have control and jurisdiction over him, especially given the fact that he's in America.
So why is there an investigation?
Let me just clarify.
While he's in Russia.
So I'm saying that, Snowden's a very different character.
Wow, then why is it an investigation into Julian Assange when he's not in the United States? Why was there?
Julian Assange and Bill Gates are very different than Andrew Tate. We're talking national security over human trafficking. Very different things.
Well, but you do admit you can prosecute someone for crimes when they're not in your country. You do understand that, right?
You can, but it's not often done, especially not in these situations. Typically, does it not logically follow that they would want to start investigating Andrew Tate when they have jurisdiction over him when he lands in their state, especially given the fact that one of the alleged victims is in Miami? Does that not logically follow?
No, it logically follows they would have opened the investigation prior to that and then tried to aid the Romanian government in their investigation. That would have logically followed.
Maybe they didn't think that the Romanian government needed any help. I mean, maybe
why not? Why? Because the Romanian government did such a great job of providing evidence? Is that why?
Well, there's been no trial yet. We don't even really know exactly all the evidence. We've seen some of the evidence. We've seen some of the hang on, stop. We've seen some of the evidence leaked. We've seen some pro and counter evidence leaked, right? But we haven't seen all the evidence yet because the trial hasn't happened yet, right? The trial, he's still in judicial review, so that means that there's still upcoming. He's not free of all charges. He has to go back to Romania. I don't know if he actually will or will not when his trial date comes, right? So this is still an ongoing trial. Sometimes these trials take a while. There's trials that take 3 or 4 years.
When is the trial date? I'm just curious. Can you go ahead and let us
I don't know the exact trial date, but you know he's under judicial review, right? Like he has to come back to Romania.
No, I'm serious. When is the trial date, though? Can you tell me that?
I have no fucking idea. I'm not the Romanian prosecutor.
No. You can't have an idea. There's no fucking trial date. That's the point.
So then why is he under judicial review?
Because they can't they're going to take the most massive L in the history of fucking jurisprudence once he does it.
So then why does he have to go back to Romania for his next court appearance?
Maybe he will. You now look what you're doing.
That's the thing. That's like actually what the fact is that like on paper he's supposed to go back to Romania during his next court date.
So has he not gone back? When's his next court date?
Well, he's never got. I don't know. Maybe he will go back. Maybe he won't. I don't know. Just because I don't know the exact date doesn't mean that that's not a fact. This is such a silly argument. You don't know the exact date.
No, my point is you're already blaming him for not going back to it.
No, I'm not. Never said that. Like again, this is a straw man that just keeps happening. I never said that. I'm not blaming him for something that hasn't happened yet.
I'm just waiting for this evidence that was supposed to happen.
I feel like you're putting like you like have this like I don't know this like idea of like the most like liberal like dumb fuck progressive, and then you're just kind of putting all your thoughts that you would have talking that person onto me and just prescribing a bunch of positions onto me that I don't hold.
Like, I don't think you're woke, but I do think your political convictions, like the things you don't like about the other side of the political aisle, vastly give you massive blind spots.
What do you think I don't like? Tate is not even a politician. He's just a red pill dude.
But he does align with the right, and you don't. And that's
okay.
You can sit there and you can argue that point.
There's a lot of people who align from the right. That has nothing to do with There's some people who align with the right that I like.
So hey, let me ask you something. Has Doge done anything right, or is it all bad?
Why are we just switching topics?
No, because I'm curious. We were talking about that before, so I'm just curious. Like, well, I'm trying to.
All right, so you're officially doing the Andrew Tate topic? Are we good on the Andrew Tate topic?
This would be an example.
This is a massive fucking jump. Yeah, like I could totally
talk about the Andrew Tate topic all day. I'll call him up right now. We'll just get him on. You want me to get him on speaker? We can sit in there and talk to him. He can make his own argument.
Yeah, if you want. I mean, I feel kind of bad if he. I'll tell you this. I feel kind of bad if he confesses. I feel like if I talk to him, I'd have to kind of bring up a lot of this stuff, and I feel kind of bad if
they're talking about you on the show.
What's it called? If he confesses and says something that's going to be later used against him. Well, if you want to set it up, I'm down to set it up.
You shouldn't feel bad. You should feel good. You got it. You got him, bro. You're a hero to a lot of people.
I never want anyone to get Tate. I don't wish Tate has always been nice to me. Why do I wish anything bad upon him? I just think it's shitty the fact that he rug pulled his audience 3 times in a row. I think that's pretty shitty. Don't you? If I can prove that to you, don't you think that's kind of shitty?
Yeah, no, for sure. I would. That would definitely be pretty shitty.
Okay, I'll send you some links after this.
For sure.
Says Austen is quiet because he is the victim of human trafficking by the Tates.
Shall we get to the game, or you want to keep going here?
How much does race play a part in cold approach? To be honest, I think girls are more flexible in dating different races than even guys are. But I will say, yeah, girls definitely have a preference. And some have like a wider preference, some have a narrower preference. But the thing is, with sufficient volume, it doesn't matter that much because, if you're doing enough, you're going to find what you want that wants you. So, like, for example, my girlfriend, she only likes white guys, but she's been with other guys of different races, but she prefers white guys. I've approached girls who they only like black guys, they only like Asian guys. And, some places in, East Asia, for example, Southeast Asia, they prefer the highest quality women in that society. They prefer to date their own race, which makes sense because they have same language, same culture, and that familiarity is really important for them. So yeah, I'd say it does play a role, but it's what matters more is the man that you are rather than just the default qualities that you were given at birth. But yeah, some girls have a strong preference, some girls don't have a strong preference. But if you have sufficient volume of girls that you're talking to, you're going to find, what you're looking for. So
I think the majority of girls will be willing to overlook their racial preferences if your game is good and they're attracted to you. I've personally been the first white boy for quite a few Latinas, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there's gonna be a few girls out there. They're just like, I will never fuck a white guy, but I'm sure at some point they'll probably fuck a white guy. So I don't know.
So there's data on this for men. If someone's attracted to them, we really don't care about race. So they do a study. It's in the book Dataclism. I'm pulling up the data right now, and it goes over. So there are a few things like Black women and Asian men do have it on dating apps. They have a significant penalty. I'll pull it up for you here. Okay. A friend of mine named Satoshi Kanazawa posted this in a journal, and he was like canceled from his job. If you want to pull that up right there.
Yeah.
Alex.
Yeah. I got you. It's you shared the wrong thing.
Okay, let me try this again. Sorry, apologize. Present. No, share screen. There you go. Start that. That work?
Yeah.
Okay, so Satoshi Kanazawa, he did a paper on this where he went over the fact that Black women and Asian men have significant penalties. White men benefit the most. Black men exhibit minimal bias. Women are race loyal. So this is the other thing that we found is that while there is a variance in what on the type of races that women will date, they tend to pick one and stay with it. So this is from the book Dataclism, which is eHarmony CTO wrote it. So the idea was women will date any race, but they'll pick one and kind of stay with it. And they'll even state on their preferences on these dating profiles that they'll date any race, but they'll only pretty much stick to one. Men, on the other hand, if she's a fine Latina and you don't like white girls, you'll still hook up with a white girl. You'll still hook up with a Latina girl, still hook up with a Black girl, Asian girl, whatever. They just had, they cared less. What you guys are saying is correct. You can overcome any bias. You absolutely can overcome any bias, but there still is a bias, and women do have a bias towards particular races.
All right. If you're at a party event and all the girls are mid, would you recommend pulling away just since it's all that place has to offer? Just call it off for the. I mean, yeah, just if you're not attracted to any of the girls, you can go to a different place. I mean, if you're really tired, you can go home. I feel like this is just purely based on preference. It's like if you're at a restaurant, they don't have your favorite dish. Should you order your second favorite dish, or should you go to a different restaurant? It's all preference here.
I recommend you take pictures with the girls that are there, and then you face up and face tune them to make them look hot, and then post it on your. I'm not, bro. Do you guys remember that clip of Denzel Washington? He goes, "I'm leaving here with something. I'm from around the way. I'm leaving here with something." Like, if I'm at a party and all the girls are ugly, I'm getting 4 of the cutest ones together, get it like this. I'm doing stunning level 2 on Face App. I'm snatching in their waist. I'm making them look good, and I'm gonna post that picture on my fucking IG on close friends list. I'm leaving here with something.
Yeah, that's a good attitude to have with everything in life. Like you can make the most of everything that you get. And that's the people that learn the fastest. They take whatever experiences they get and they pull the lessons out of it, or they at least, like you said, they get the fucking photo, get some more social proof.
Yeah, I don't think women will ever look past a man's race specifically when choosing who they have a kid with and commit to. I think the vast majority will.
It depends, if you have enough game, they will. Certain places are not like the U.S. Dude, Serbia, if you go to Serbia, every girl in Serbia wants a Serbian man who speaks Serbian, who's tall, who has dark features. That's all they want. Like, you ask every single girl, it's like the same thing. It's very, very homogenous.
Until my blonde Russian ass visits. And then
similar with Korea, right? Korea doesn't want fucking random people coming in there.
Korea as a country, maybe not. It's funny. The thing about Koreans is they think that they're like superior to white people. That's like 100% a thing, which is fascinating since they rely on U.S. military support. I'm talking about South Korea specifically. Have you guys followed the Johnny Somali story? That really.
Yeah, I know that guy. But yeah, also my grandpa fought in the Korean War. That like my grandpa's part of the reason they still have a country and they're not communist. Yo, another check out this movie, The Unknown Soldier, 2017. I'll send it to you guys in the chat. Crazy. It's about how Finland basically defended themselves against the Soviets.
Russia, yeah.
Yeah, it was during World War II, but it wasn't part of World War II. It was like a separate conflict.
Yeah, there was this one sniper in Finland who was like fucking unstoppable.
There was the white. They call him the White Wolf. I forgot what the name was. I just read a book about him.
White Shadow or something.
The White Death.
Yeah, the white.
He killed 542 enemy combatants.
Yeah, if you guys read
he was 5'3", by the way.
series,
fun fact.
The Johnny Somali story is pretty interesting. So, for give context, Johnny Somali is like one of those nuisance streamers. So basically, just like his thing is like going to different countries and just fucking with people, like just being a fucking pain in the ass and yeah. So he goes to Korea. And he decides to pull some shenanigans. He starts fucking with the statues, and then eventually, like, Koreans like get really pissed off because he's just talking shit about the country, and they like beat the shit out of him like multiple times. But he still keeps going. And then he also made some like North Korea references, and that's like a hard no in South Korea. Apparently, like they just like don't fuck with anything North Korea related. So now he's basically on trial. They put him in jail, and he's facing like potentially over 5 years in jail. And it's funny because you can see videos of him going to court, and he's just like still like super disrespectful, and just like everyone's like, dude, like you're gonna spend the rest of your life in a Korean jail cell.
Dude, and those people in that jail will probably know who he is.
Hey,
and then he's gonna get the shit beat out of him in a Korean prison because no one fucking likes North Korea and South Korea.
Look at the tab because I want to show you something else. Have you seen what he did in Japan and Israel before this?
I've heard of Japan, not Israel. What happened in Israel?
So it goes hold on. Let me get to the Israel part. Give me 1 second.
You know they have an app now in Asia. That's where they can
this is all cool, but this is like surface level stuff that happens after the fact. What happened in this guy's childhood and adolescence that made him do this?
I will bet he was probably diagnosed with conduct disorder before, like in his adolescence.
Yeah, but
he's probably
why? What caused
genetics?
Is it a combination of genetics? Maybe
it's genetics.
Well, he's probably got some psychopathy, but not every psychopath is bad. Like, you know,
most likely it's a hunger for attention. It's most likely a hunger for attention.
He was physically assaulted in Israel also. See this?
Oh,
By
yeah.
the way, Michael,
Jerusalem filming himself attaching images of controversial figures. Harvey Weinstein, Aiden Ross, and Jeffrey Epstein to the wall. 2 days later, Israeli authorities had detained him. Protest for sexually harassing a female police officer. 16 minutes after which he continued live streaming, falsely claimed to witness a man shooting a restaurant. During the stream, he
ask as a follow-up what happened.
Falsely claimed to have witnessed a man shooting at a restaurant. Jesus Christ, this kid is a psychopath.
He is a psychopath.
He justified his actions by stating they were permissible because he is an American citizen, displaying consent. Disregard legal troubles in South Korea. Disruptive behavior. Most controversial act where he kissed and performed lap dances on the Statue of Peace. Holy shit.
Yep. Who's typing so fucking loudly? I think it's you, Austin.
He showed up with an oversized MAGA hat on. Okay, I think I saw that.
Yeah, they asked him to remove it, and he didn't want to remove it. Yeah.
Wow.
Now my mic's working.
5 years in prison.
Maybe more. Yeah. There's an app now, I think directly inspired by him in Asia, where they can put bounties on influencers. So they put like $1,000 bounty. And this is designed so that, for example, if someone beats the shit out of the influencer, that these people will crowdfund their fucking legal defense. That's how fucking annoyed they are with like fucking American influencers. This is a real thing.
I don't hate that business model.
Some of these dudes fucking deserve it. Yeah, like I'm not a fan of like going to other countries and being like ultra disrespectful. A little bit of disrespect is okay, but like, yeah, like he takes it to a whole new level. What is your current assessment of the sexual marketplace? Do you believe dating is cooked? No, dating is not cooked. I don't think dating will ever be cooked. You can still meet great girls in America. They exist. They're everywhere. You might have a hard time finding them on Tinder, for example, but even there you can probably find some. But yeah, there's great girls all around. They're walking around the street. They're probably not hanging out at clubs, but they're just walking to the grocery store. They're doing their thing. So there's great girls everywhere. So yeah, dating in the U.S. is not cooked and will never be cooked.
All right,
Thoughts?
No, I mean, I agree. I just think there's a software update, and you got to learn the software update. If you don't have it, then you're going to be behind a lot of other people. In that software update includes, people's perception about you, status, pre-selection, social media, stuff like that. There's just a new way that dating happens. You have to look like the bigger, better deal. Otherwise, you keep losing to the bigger, better deal.
Okay. Do women like dating a tourist and still do long-term? It depends on the woman. I mean, some women don't mind dating a tourist. Some women do. Some women want long-term. Some women want a fling. I mean, yeah, there's. I don't know how to answer this. Yeah, it just depends on the woman.
Yeah.
Okay, bro. Now, the majority of women, not only women, only commit to and have kids with their own race. So just because someone does that doesn't mean that that's the only one they would do. It just so happens that most people meet people within their socioeconomic class and of their race because those are people who they have around them. That doesn't mean that if a guy of a different color came along that they would be resistant to it. Yeah, go ahead.
So the assortative mating thing is actually the same answer that you just gave. People grow up around people who are like them and have like similar genetic, likely, like again, Caucasian people date Caucasian people in part because of racism, but also in part, not racism, but prejudice or whatever, preference, racial preference, but also in part because white people just grow up around more white people in general. So they will grow up in, that's just the way it is. So the idea of like assortative mating, I've heard people say this is like poor people tend to marry poor people. And it's just because they're mostly around poor people. Most of my friends who were poor growing up did not have access to anyone who was wealthy in any way whatsoever. So, that's I think that's the difference. So you can't just put it on, bro, the vast majority of people, not only women, only commit and have kids with their own race. I don't even think it's the vast majority. I think if you're in Austin, Texas right now, I haven't seen a single black dude with a black woman in my life since I lived there for 9 years, and every single one of the football players, none of them dating a black girl. So I don't think that's the case. I think there's a lot of instances. I don't think it's the vast majority anymore. And also when you come into like mixed race, like my mom's Hispanic and my dad's white. No, I think there's so much.
You're proof it works.
Yeah. Shout out to all the white nationalists who don't like me. Got rid of my Twitter.
Your dad was white or your mom was white?
My dad's white.
Okay. Where did he meet your mom? Like what country? Was it in America or where?
United States. So funny enough, they were both. My mom was growing up in Colombia. My dad was with the Peace Corps in Colombia. They were a couple hundred miles from each other, never met. And my mom goes to nursing school in Washington, D.C. So in the 70s, you could get a work visa in the States if you were a nurse. We needed nurses. We had sent a lot of nurses over to Vietnam. So she came to the United States, got a nursing degree in the States. She already had a certification in Colombia. And then when she was there, she met my dad at a wedding in 1971, 72, something like that. And they got married in 74.
Oh. So was your dad in the military too?
No, I'm the first person in my whole family to ever join the military.
How did your grandparents in Colombia meet?
I don't. Mercedes and Jorge. I don't remember how they met.
Mercedes.
I need to ask.
That was your grandma's name.
Mercedes. My grandma's name was Mercedes Lopez. Yeah, I don't know how they met. That's an interesting.
That's pretty high status.
I get to meet her a couple times. Maybe when I was 12, 13 years old, and then she passed away not too long after that. My grandfather died at 48 of a heart attack. So I don't know. He was dead way before I ever met him. But on my dad's side, my grandfather lived to 2005 to 95. He died in 2000. He went from 1905 to 2000. He lived 95 years.
Why don't you do live infield playing with fire? Yes, I love this question. So here's the issue with doing live infield is that you're going to dox every single girl you talk to because you can't edit things in real time. So I'm going to be talking to a girl, and then she's going to give me her number, and then my whole channel is going to hear her number, and then there's going to be a bunch of weirdos that are going to send her dick pics, and then she'll just forever be on blast or whatever, any kind of private info she gets.
Yeah, that's not the only issue. It's a privacy risk in general, and it's bad for the girl's privacy anyway.
Yeah, but there's other reasons, but that's like a huge one. Michael should debate Andrew from the Crucible and Evolution would be great.
I'd love to do that, and I love and Andrew's a great guy, and I like him a lot. I think we're going to disagree on how evolution works. He wanted to debate me. He brought up debating evolutionary psychology. I just think that maybe he thought either the topic was too boring or something, but we never went through with it. Does he not believe in
evolution?
Yeah, I mean, because of his Christian beliefs, he doesn't believe in evolution. I am also a Christian, but I do believe in evolution.
Yeah, even the Catholic Church believes in evolution.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like at the highest level of the Catholic Church, they're like, the evidence is overwhelming.
I'll see if I can make it happen. I'm not still friends with him, but I have a few friends who are.
Yeah,
well, actually, me and him did a debate like a month ago, so I guess most of the beef is buried.
Yeah, I really do like the guy. He came to Vegas. He came on my show. We had a bunch of laughs. We went to go eat together. We have a lot of stuff in common. I just think, I think it would be an interesting discussion because he's probably not going to meet too many people who are this versed in evolution and the Bible. And maybe he's way more versed in evolution than I happen to know about. But evolutionary psychology and natural selection are kind of my main hobbies.
No, you know what you guys should debate is on having sex before marriage. He's going to disagree with you on that.
Yeah, no, but he's not wrong. You are happier if you could find one woman and be monogamous, guys. You are happier. It's just fucking hard to do it. It's just really
it's also a risk. It's also a risk.
But no, Michael, his advice to guys is to avoid having sex until marriage.
Yeah, no, again, I'm not going to tell you that there is significant advantages to what he's saying, but overall, I think in 2025, the disadvantages slightly outweigh the advantages.
No, I think,
but the advantage, but one of the advantages, huh?
I think wait until marriage to have sex is horrible advice.
Again, I agree with you, but what I'm saying is let's just try to see it from his standpoint. Waiting until marriage, there are studies that show that when virgins get married, their marital satisfaction is much higher than the average population. But there's so few virgins that get married now. I don't know how reliable that data set is, but if you could, dude, let me tell you something. If I could make myself like fat women, I would be so happy. I would have 3-4 fat girlfriends over here cooking for me. I wouldn't give a shit. When I watched Shallow Hal, I was like, fuck, bro. I wish I could just be into fat women like that. Then I would just be so happy. I had homeboys back in Dallas
cook with
really
seed
like
oils,
fat
bro.
women.
Yeah. Why you get wait? I don't get that. You get plenty of pussy. Like, what's the need? Like, you really need more
because there's so much stuff that comes with it. When you're dating a girl who's like a huge model, then there's all this fucking shit that comes with it. Hate from dudes. It's still erratic. Even if I'm dating 6 girls at the same time, there's still an erratic nature to it. Whereas I wish I could just girls that weren't, bro. I wish I was attracted to mid-ass girls. My life would be so much easier.
Have you guys ever walked into a restaurant with a girl, hold the girl's hand, and you walk into a restaurant with her, and then you look at guys look at you with the girl, and they just look depressed?
Yeah, I've definitely seen that.
I've seen guys checking out my girlfriend. I don't know.
Most of the time, it's why the fuck is she with him? That's mostly the one I get.
What are you talking about, dude? You're a Chad.
No, you're half Hispanic, so you're protected class.
Have you not read Twitter? Or not Twitter. What is it? Reddit? I'm 5'8". I think that's what it is. I'm not Chad.
Yeah, what's the most off-base race that someone has thought you were? Has anyone ever thought you were part black?
It's not off base, but I'm Middle Eastern. I get that a lot. But the thing is, if you look, Mongoloid, Negroid, and Caucasoid, they all meet. Those 3 racial profiles meet in the Middle East. Well, if you look at the Hispanics in the United States, it's the same thing. Mongoloid coming over the Bering Strait, Caucasoids coming over as Europeans, so there
were 700 years of Arab rule in Spain.
Yeah, for sure. That could be it too. But yeah, I get Middle Eastern sometimes. By the way, if I said that, I know maybe I'm not supposed to say those words anymore, Caucasoid and Negroid and Mongoloid.
You can say whatever you want on my channel. It's not like I'm going to lose my monetization. That's your secretly short conspiracy theory always interests me because I've said publicly, I met him. He's probably an inch taller than me, so that would put him at 6 something. But people don't believe me for some reason. So
no, I think they get energy from not believing you. That one isn't the one that bothers me. Of all the one that
Michael, no matter what your height is, you are enough.
Thank you, bro.
Especially when you wear your elevator shoes.
For sure, man.
All right. Sure. Alex, Ron, you react to Wheat Waffles videos. Sometimes he talks and makes great points. I have reacted to many of his videos, well over 5. Austen, when is your video?
Yeah, I released it. It's called the Destroying the Black Pill with Facts and Logic, and I literally go into all different types of science. I go into ethics. I go into the psychology of why these people believe this and what it does to them. How fatalism leads to depression, which often leads to suicide and just horrible life outcomes. And I detailed all. It's a 2.5 hour long video. most people are not going to have the patience to listen to a deep dive that much. But if you want to get if you want to fully inoculate yourself from this horrible, retarded belief system of black pill, I did the only deep dive on the internet on it. So
that's not true. I've done deep dives on the black pill, but
no one has ever done anything as close to what I have done.
If you can set me up with a debate, then
no one has gone as deep as I have gone.
No one's ever done it. A debate with
they looked at the video, they said, "Wow, this is deep." Austin.
He's not going to do it. I've tried.
I mean, doesn't that say enough?
Dude, we Waffles rage quitted our debate basically.
Yeah. Oh, did he?
I started talking about how this like harms people's lives, like this ideology, and like detailing it in detail. And he was just like, "Yeah, man, it's getting late here. I should probably bounce."
Okay, do you guys understand? Like, so there's this part of like, hey, women don't like me because of race, because of height, whatever excuses that he makes, and then he does something that feminine, and then can't say, well, actually, women don't like you because you're a victim and you act feminine. You see what I'm saying?
The biggest distinction that needs to be made in this to begin with is that the black pill is not just saying that looks are important. We can all agree that looks are important. We work out, we take care of our appearance, etc. It goes a step further, saying that it is responsible for 99 to 100% of your results in dating, and it's what's driving like all the attraction, which is clearly not true.
And that you can build attraction. That if the girl's not instantly attracted to you, then you're just gesturing. It comes with a whole bunch of assumptions.
Hey, Bucky said an inch taller than Alex, which makes me 5'6", and then he said,
"Doesn't this piss you off that like Western civilization for the past 400 years or 500 years has been like a steady increase in our understanding of the world, and the past like 10 years has just been like a full like downgrade in many areas, and now we have to like recorrect like some things to just state basic facts."
Yeah, flat earthism was never a thing like 15-20 years ago. This is
even the ancient Greeks knew the Earth wasn't flat.
80s, but it blew up. It blew up. You're right. We were on 2015.
But it wasn't common. I never met a flat earther until like recently. Like my uncle actually became a flat earther too. My dad just stopped hanging out with him because he got tired of hearing his fucking cringe talking points.
People pretend like Australia exists, and it doesn't exist, obviously.
Hey, true.
So if you guys ever get a chance and you have a friend who is blonde with large fake boobs, just go up to her and say, "Hey, how crazy is this flat Earth stuff?" And she'll be like, "You too?
Yeah, you mentioned that.
No, don't you know, dude?" Like, I know some people think I'm being funny. I'm talking about the ditziest blondes, with the biggest fake boobs. Go up and talk to them, and then figure out how. When you see how many of them are flat earthers, it is going to blow your mind.
I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll do an infill on this where I specifically do what you're saying. But if none of them are flat earthers, I'm gonna make a Michael Sartain exposed video. So. All right,
bro. Just go out to any Trump supporter and see the amount of conspiracies they have. I reckon the world is getting more and more conspiracy pilled. To be fair,
have you guys seen the new AI girlfriend update stuff?
Is so
that's crazy. It's I saw that $1 was $100,000. Did you guys see that one? And it was just sitting there like looking at you. And
dude, they're getting like muscular skeleton suit robotics now, and that AI is coming out. Like, dude, it's only a few years until these like AI sex robots that like are your ideal partner become a reality.
I mean, I think most guys are still not going to be into that. Like, there's no amount of like fucking AI that's going to make me want to start fucking a fucking machine.
No, of course you're correct, but the thing is, when you think about it's because here I'm sharing something else here. If you like look at some of these things, how some of these robots are $100,000.
Okay, just be careful. There's no like tits or whatever showing.
Yeah. There's. Oh, actually, let me do safe search. Hold on, safe search. Put it on blur.
Yeah, it's off.
Okay, there we go. Perfect. I mean, it's just like this. I saw the one that was actually moving. Was it this one? Yeah, Daily Mail. This was it. One of them that was like moving. 10,000 for a sex robot with an AI brain. It's going to be way more than $10,000, I think, initially. But
let me tell you a quick story about David Bond. He got this sponsorship from the sex doll company, and just to make a video about it, they sent him a free sex doll to try out and like do a review on it.
And he's done with women.
He said it was somewhere in between sex and masturbation. He was like, it's more than masturbation, but it's not quite sex. And when we were at the AVN Awards or show together, that expo, he was filming for me, and he saw this like animatronic one, and he's like, man, this is the future. Like, he said he gets more tired from fucking a sex doll than sex, because when he's trying to like change positions, you have to like do all the moving yourself. You can't just like tell the doll what to do. So if it had like, you know, mechanics, it would be help those guys out.
Let me address this. No one's gonna dock shit, so you can just move before she gives out her number. Okay, let's reenact this. So I cold approach a girl. I got my phone here. I'm like, hey, what's up? I just want to say hi. Oh, why do you have a phone in your hand? You see, I'm live streaming this to my audience. But let's just ignore that. Oh, hang on, wait. Before you give me your number, hang on 1 second. Let me
live stream cold approach. Okay, yeah, that's a problem. That's
Alex,
like edit cold approach.
You could literally just say put it in and give her your phone.
That is true, but then there's all the other.
Expect a live stream.
No. First of all, I can't do that because I'm live streaming, so that would knock off the live stream, right? That would fuck with the live stream. And second of all,
get a secondary phone. You're an entrepreneur and you can't think through basic problems.
I could get a secondary phone, but it still doesn't solve the issue of her spontaneously saying something that reveals her identity.
No, you just started the conversation off very naturally. Hey, how's it going? By the way, don't reveal anything about your personal identity. And then you get
sounds so sus, bro.
That's a great way to
get kidnapped.
That's a great way to approach a girl.
I mean, Alex, not Villaincheck, Limburg has done live streams before for our mastermind, but yeah, it's kind of. I feel like it's a little bit risky doing that shit on YouTube or something like that. I wouldn't be game.
Yeah, I've had my IG suspended so many times because somebody says the wrong thing or shows the wrong thing. I had one time I had these girls, and this girl just had really big fake boobs, and that was enough. They just suspended my account. She never showed anything.
Michael, what if a girl had 3 fake boobs?
Maybe the algorithm would probably flag.
No. For you, would you like that?
No, that would be cool. I think that'd be weird.
You got to do it one time though, right? Like, how do you really know unless you've been there?
That's a good point. Like, I'm saying I wouldn't kill myself if I had to, but probably.
What about if you have to choose gun to the head between 3 boobs and 1 boob?
Probably 3 boobs. Probably 3 boobs. 1 boob would scare the shit out of me.
1 boob.
Yeah, mono boob. That's scary.
Is the 1 boob just like she's missing a boob, or is there 1 boob in the middle of her chest?
Center,
like a big
center
boob?
of the chest. Big center of the chest.
Boob.
F cup.
Cyclops boob. Bro, you gotta try it. I'd be down if there's a Cyclops boob out there.
If you guys really wanted me to try it, it's like on a scale of 1 to 10, it'd be like a 2 or a 3, but it wouldn't be like a 0. Like I wouldn't be
that'd be like an 8 for me, I reckon. I'd be down. You gotta try it.
Yo,
we're tackling the real questions here this stream.
Who's that cyclist who won the Tour de France a bunch of times? American.
Lance Armstrong.
Yeah, Lance Armstrong's out of the running for Ashley.
Yeah.
Is wokeness actually dying off in my city and workplace? It's worse than ever. How best to handle when bringing politics in this? I think generally it's been going downhill, but in certain I think corners there might be a lot of it. I don't know. I don't really see any wokeness in Miami. I've never had a conversation with a girl where I make an offensive joke, which I do a lot, and she takes offense to it or whatever, unless it's about her, which would be different. So I don't know, but I don't live in fucking San Francisco or Portland. Might be different over there.
This question: does the high soy protein vegan diet get you jacked?
Let me finish my point. But here's a big piece of advice. Okay, if the girl is a liberal and you're conservative and you just don't want to talk about politics because it can go downhill, just say you're a libertarian. No one really understands what that is. No one knows what it is. It sounds good. If you just say that, you're going to be okay.
I'll say that sometimes, and I'll explain it like this. I want to be able to have a gun to defend my husband on the way to buy our gay marijuana or something. There's some funny quote like that. This question is, does the high soy protein vegan diet get you jacked? As we saw 2 weeks ago, you can get jacked, but a lot of people, they're going to have psychological downsides. I think vegans and vegetarians have higher rates of depression, anxiety, and other mental health issues. And I think it's because of the lack of fat soluble vitamins and DHA.
Is when you say that, do they take in count? Because what I would imagine is among circles of people that are depressed, they're probably more likely to do all the hippie shit, right? Like, is this a causal
I don't know.
study that like
let me ask
eating
Perplexity's deep research? Shout out, Michael.
Yeah.
Dude, Perplexity gives you unlimited deep research, whereas ChatGPT cuts you off at like 5 or 10 or something.
You can get deep research from ChatGPT on Perplexity.
There's one difference is that ChatGPT fine tunes its models much different than Perplexity does.
Yeah, I like Perplexity because of the citations.
I'm just loyal, you know. Me and ChatGPT go way back and knows
but
me.
Michael, I was going to ask you this. What's the feature, you know, on ChatGPT where you can have like video summarizer, you can have like, you can create your custom GPTs, like personal therapist, whatever. Can you do that on Perplexity?
No. So the ability to scrape those transcripts, no, I've just seen video summarizer on ChatGPT. I will say, have you guys
that's the
seen
only thing that that's causing me to still keep the ChatGPT.
Agree. I use it for timestamps. Like you guys, you should timestamp every one of these, Alex. It takes like 10 seconds using ChatGPT. Every one of your videos. The other thing I was going to say is Grok 3. Have you guys seen the voice mode that just came out? Really incredible on dates. Like you just say, "Hey, can you say hi to so and so for me?" And then Grok just starts cussing her out and calling her a slag. You've not seen this? It's called Unhinged.
I've heard it doesn't have the. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, yeah, I heard you can do all this sexual shit on there. Like, it doesn't stop you from sexting and the fucking like adult content stuff.
There's sexy story. There's Unhinged where they just cuss at you. There's what's it called? Argumentative. And then there's one called, you would love this one. It's what's it called? The conspiracy. So whatever conspiracy you say, it says, no, bro, there's a bigger conspiracy. And it will just like argue back with you. And then there's like assistant. You should go just download the Grok app and then go in the voice mode and then try them all. And then also, even if you don't pay for Grok, you can still do deep research on Grok. I think you get like 5.
I need the conspiracy one. That is hectic. I just need
to right now.
Conspiracy
Pick it up on your phone.
Could banging a girl in my car cause a girl to ghost me? It could potentially increase the odds because she thinks like a one night stand, but in of itself, it probably won't cause her to ghost you.
Does your penis
Depends how you
like
behave
cheese?
after sex.
Why would that matter? Why would any of this matter? I don't understand.
I think it could play a bit of a role because the girl just thinks it's like, this is just a one night, like whatever type of like raunchy hookup. Like I'm not going to date the guy who I fucked in my car, but yeah. Hello, Marcus. I'm having issues finding location to do night game in the winter. All my summer bars are dead. Any tips for finding locations?
Move. All right. Get the fuck out of there. Yeah. I mean, look, it's tough. There's always, if you're in a major city, even in the worst months, there's always going to be somewhere that is going to have a collection of women around, right? Like this is, if you're living in a butt fuck town nowhere or some bullshit, then just move, right? Like there's no way, I can't solve your issue here of bringing women to your location, right? There's a low population area, women aren't going out, they're not doing events, then fuck it, like move somewhere that's a little bit busier.
Yeah, what he said is correct. I can't make the world not be the way. It's like I want to live in Wisconsin and date playmates. I'm like, well, there's not that many, so you got to move. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, or just utilize dating apps more in the wintertime. I mean, that's what I would do, right? Like if there's no one out and about, you could go to a mall, but if there's no one out and about there, then just utilize dating apps more until the summertime. Yeah. Thoughts on photorealistic AI images for dating profiles? Are we there yet? Interesting question. Yes and no.
Really good ones.
Yes and no. All the apps that you can download are not that great, but I did recently link up with a guy who did a really good one, but he has to do it himself. It takes him 5 or 6 hours, but he uses AI to make these insanely realistic deep fakes. So I think it is there, but I think most apps aren't there yet.
So I finished the deep research on veganism stuff. It's an interplay of both, that veganism, vegetarianism causes depression and anxiety, but it's also people that are depressed and anxious are more likely to become vegan and vegetarian.
And when your friends make fun of you for being a weird vegan, then you get more depressed and feel more anxiety because your friends all make fun of you.
But yeah, B12, DHA, and iron are the things. And also there's some other things: tryptophan, tyrosine, omega-3, and folate. And those are 3 of those are deficient on a vegan diet. And also vitamin B12.
A lot of these people are supplementing, right? Like B12, iron, these are all like almost always supplemented. I think Vegan Gates mentioned that, and any studies recently on vegans, they're like never deficient in these. The others I'm not as familiar with, but I'm sure there's a lot of like modern supplementation that takes place with people on these diets.
Can you walk me through
52% of vegans are deficient. Sorry, 62% of vegans are deficient in vitamin B12.
Okay, so
as I said, like they're the old studies that he spoke about, like populations that they were choosing from. I think if he was mentioned, I don't know if this is true, it's just what he said. I think if you look at recent studies, they're not as deficient if at all.
2018, 2022.
Here's my question. My understanding is that vitamin B12 can only be extracted from animal protein. Is that correct? And humans have to consume it. Are both of those things correct?
Yes, but you can take it in supplement form. But yes, you are correct.
Right, but then you're not a vegan. So like there are no true vegans. Debate over.
I think they would.
You only get it from. I didn't know that. Yeah.
I think they would argue that that's fine. That the fact that like extracting it and like all that, like I don't think they would have a
right. But these are the same people that are arguing that humans used to not eat meat, and that eating meat is only a function of the agricultural revolution. That
2.6 million years in prior, meat wasn't the main source for sure. It was like fruit and nuts.
I think they say like that argument.
For the past 2.5 million years, yes.
That argument for me is so silly. It's just looking back and being like. Yeah, just being like, what did we used to eat or something? Like, I think we can just look at ourselves now.
The reason why it's important is because if a species has eaten a certain way for 2.5 million years, it causes changes in their gut morphology, which means that they're adapted for that diet. Which means that when you eat foods that are not adapted to be eaten, you cause evolutionary mismatch, which causes a whole host of diseases. Like, there's no animal that has a diet that it evolved to eat over millions of years, and then you switch it drastically to something else and there aren't negative consequences. So when you see the change between the Paleolithic to and then the first agricultural revolution, you saw a reduction in height by like 6 inches. You saw osteoporosis. You saw like teeth getting all fucked up. You saw new diseases, decrease in wound healing, like all these like random things that didn't really happen prior to that point. And that the marking point for that is the agricultural revolution, when we started eating high amounts of like grains and decreased our intake of protein.
Yeah, so not necessarily. Like, I get your point here, but you can't just look and say
not necessarily. That's literally like back.
Bro, you just spoke for like 5 minutes. Let me just explain my point. I've mentioned 2 words and then you start laughing. I'm saying not necessarily. You could take someone that's eaten a range of foods and then say, okay, we're only going to give you these foods now. We think this is the best diet. And then the argument would be there, hey, your gut morphology isn't suited for this. That's the issue. I understand that point. I just don't think you can make a blanket statement that you used to eat these foods, you're eating these now. That's a problem, because we could imagine a diet where we look at everyone now and be like, hey, you're eating a bunch of McDonald's and shit. And in 1,000 years from now, we look back and maybe we're having a new range of foods that's like genetically like extremely modified and it's a lot better and we live a lot longer. You can't just say, oh, we used to eat these foods, now we shouldn't, right? I don't think that in itself is a good argument.
The difference that people have bad reactions to is usually in the survival foods. So different people are going to react to different plants. For example, I have Hashimoto's.
We're just bleeding viewers right now, but yeah, you can keep going.
Okay. I can't eat wheat.
Maybe we should get vegan games back on.
So everyone's going to have a different
Marcus, are you vegan?
That they can respond well to or poorly to, but like essentially everyone can tolerate meat, except if you have like, Lyme disease or something, or, like whatever, that tick thing. Some people, there's some, it's not Lyme disease. It's some other issue.
It's got that tick thing.
G6PD deficiency or something. I don't know. But there's some people, there's like a very, very small percentage of people that can't eat meat, but everyone else can tolerate meat and seafood and yeah.
No, I understand the vegan from the point of view of morality. Like, I get that. Like, if someone comes to me and like, hey, I'm vegan because I just feel bad for animals and shit, I can understand that point. I feel like there's a lot of contradiction there, though, where they're like, oh, vegetarians are like, oh, I feel really bad for animals, but yeah, I will fucking drink milk. But at the end of the day, I believe from what I've read, like a more balanced diet is going to be better for you than just
wait. I don't even see that contradiction, Michael. I mean, Marcus, like milking a cow is objectively a lot better than killing the cow, right?
Maybe. Depends how you look at it. Like the question then would be, if you're a cow, would you want to be in a tiny little space, basically made to be pregnant over and over again? Your baby's taken away and either killed or stolen. Would you want to be tortured for your whole life? Like, is that better than death? I mean, I don't know. It just feels contradictory to be like, I care about animals, so yeah, I'll torture them, I just won't eat them. That doesn't make as much sense to me. Or even killing, right? You take eggs, don't they kill off all the roosters, right? Isn't that what they do? And then don't they kill off the chickens after they're not like laying eggs anymore? Like you're still, there's a lot.
I don't know. My mom
there.
just ordered a bunch of chickens. I don't think she's going to kill any of them though. So I don't know if that's unnecessary.
No, but the chicken farmers.
I meant production.
Like commercial, dude. Commercial farming is like horrible and like super evil. Yeah, but you can buy stuff from small farmers. You can buy stuff that's like pasture raised. Like there are alternatives to that.
Yeah, and I guess that's the other contradiction for me. Like, if you ask a vegan, like, hey, there was a cow that was just like pasturing on my land and blah, blah, and now it just died, right? Can I eat that? If they tell me no, it's like, well, why? Like, the morality argument doesn't make sense there.
I think they would definitely say no.
Yeah. So for me, there's like
somewhere
so much contradiction in that
some
vegan
vegan
space.
who only eats roadkill, just drives around for hours, like
exactly, yeah. Exactly, yeah. You're roadkill.
Constantly getting like fucking food poisoning and shit. Like, bro,
yeah, but like that theoretical argument, right? It is just, again, from a morality point of view, that makes no sense. There's a lot of contradiction there.
So this guy says, Austen, I don't think today is relevant to what cavemen did. Your genes changed like 1% over the past 10,000 years. So what your ancestors did is actually really relevant to you because it's your genetic lineage that led to you.
Somewhat relevant, yeah.
But then the argument, again, if we take it to the nth degree, it's kind of like, well, should we just be caveman lifestyle again? It's like, no, they died pretty early, right? Like,
I think the best is you take the best of the old with the best of the new.
Marcus, that's actually
whenever there's a gray area, you can default to what you study, like the human species as like a species. You should default to that unless we have better information. That's what I believe.
Marcus, it's actually a common misconception that cavemen died early. So the problem with that data is there's back in then, like 1 out of every 2 babies died at birth or didn't make it past the age of 2. But if a caveman made it past the age of 2 and didn't die in war, they actually on average lived to like 70 or 80.
72 is, so if you look at the modal, which means like the most common life expectancy, it's 72 when you
no, that being said,
so
what Marcus is correct. Antibiotics increases the likelihood of you living through certain things that would have killed you. So yeah, I mean, for sure, like being able to set bones, etc., things like that. But yeah, what you're saying is correct, Austen. It's, you have to take the best of it. So like me eating less refined sugar and less processed foods, because that's why we call it the paleo diet, because the Paleolithic era, which is before the agricultural revolution 11,700 years ago, when we do that, our body should be able to digest it easier and get the carbs, sodium, fat, minerals that we need easier by doing that, as opposed to there's a great book by Jared Diamond, I believe it's called The World Up to Yesterday. It's about these ancestral tribes, and when these people come into contact with fast food, like rampant levels of diabetes, because they are so used to just killing meat and getting meat like maybe once every week or once every 2 weeks, and then gorging themselves, that once they had the ability to procure meat on a daily basis at McDonald's, they would become just morbidly obese. So that's what you mean by like evolutionary mismatch.
I just ChatGPT'd this, so I don't know how real this is, okay? But it said the infant mortality rate is true, but they said if someone survived childhood, they had a decent chance of living into their 50s or 60s. The idea that cavemen lived to 72 is likely a misinterpretation of isolated cases where a few individuals live longer than average. I don't know. It's just ChatGPT. I don't know.
I don't know
where else it's taken from.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't break your leg or catch a disease, that the human body just tends to make it into the 70s. If those things happened back then, now today you have a likelihood of surviving those things, but the mortality
and fewer parasites.
Well, in like the Middle Ages, people lived until what, like the average lifespan was like 40 or something.
Yeah, but again, you had massive problems with plague and did you guys see that stat that came out yesterday? 400,000 was it? 300 or 400,000, 300 or 400 million Indians shit out in the open every day. Have you guys seen this? There's a TEDx talk about
what?
It's 2025.
Have you guys seen this? So yeah, India has done this incredible, like made this massive push to try to build as many toilets as possible. But it's
more
real
speed dating
shit.
events. We're talking about pooping in public.
Yeah, I'm gonna find it for you. I've seen. I'm actually gonna react to it on my show next week.
This is a question I get asked from time to time in the comments. So here's the thing: the speed dating events are just boring as fuck for me. It's just because here's what it is. It's the same 2 or 3 set of mistakes every single time. It's just the same thing over and over and over again. And so I've gone to a point where I just kind of don't enjoy doing them. And then I would still keep doing them if I felt like they benefited my channel, but they don't. I get like no subscribers from doing these. So like this shit is like kind of fun, just like shooting the shit with the guys. But the speed dating events is just me giving the same piece of feedback over and over again. If there's enough demand, I'll probably do one again. It's okay, really, really boring for me, which is why I haven't really done them.
Why don't you do a live stream speed dating where you take your phone out and you get your subscribers to walk with you, and then you open people on the street?
I've done speed dating in real life where I got like a female friend of mine. We set up a table.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, it was interesting.
That's a cool idea. I like it.
Do you see what I just shared with you? 1/3 of the world's population will remain without access to improved sanitation in 2015, according to reports. This is back in 2013 when they did this, but there's a new study now. It comes out, and this woman just did a TED talk, and it's like 400 million. It's like the majority of open defecation on planet Earth is in India, and the majority of Indians do open defecation. It was just crazy numbers that I was reading from that. So yes, let's not shit outside. It's not good for other people.
Someone said you can make B12 supplements for fermenting certain bacteria cultures.
Yeah, that's what ChatGPT told me again.
Yeah.
Does ChatGPT give you sources? Is there a way to ask for that? I didn't even.
No. Use Perplexity for
I
sources.
hate just listening to it. Okay.
Use Perplexity.
Oh,
for
man,
sources.
I don't want to cheat. I'm not that type of guy, man. I don't know.
Just use the free Perplexity.
The questions discussed should not be getting women or self-improvement, but how to destroy feminism, the U.S. government, and Zog. What is Zog?
Why does no one want to take personal responsibility? Do you understand, like, part of being a man is taking personal responsibility for yourself and stop blaming everything on these like ambiguous external factors? Like, dude, you realize feminism encourages women to fuck guys. Like, they're literally helping you in some ways.
Yeah, but they're mean.
This guy's just conspiracy filled with the some stuff.
It's like even if the U.S. government, like, do you think the U.S. government wants no one to reproduce? Like, do you think that's like positive for the society? Doesn't make any sense. Governments around the world,
the U.S. government has no control over
the ultimate
resource,
resource, which is humans. That's why all these different like countries are trying to attract foreigners with these different ways to get citizenship, etc. And there's literally programs in almost every country that's facing like these problems to get them to fuck. So like they want you to fuck. Stop blaming your lack of success on large external factors that you can't change in your lifetime.
Well said. Well said. Alex, what is your opinion on race and dating? This is the biggest elephant in the room. Non-white guys have to maximize everything, be on point, especially black men like myself. Like, there's a lot of girls that.
Bro, you're living in the wrong city, bro.
I would understand if you were like Indian or something. Not really, but I think you'd have a stronger point. But there's a lot of girls who want to fuck a black guy or date a black guy,
bro. Yeah,
there's
Alex
so many. Like, I don't feel like you being black gives you any kind of disadvantage compared to a white guy.
I have a hot female
all other
assistant.
factors.
She only fucks black guys. Only dates
all other
black
factors
guys.
being equal. So I don't think there's any elephant in the room. I don't think you need to do anything different than a white guy does. Again, there's plenty of girls who want to fuck a black guy.
You like dating white girls? You're a black dude. Move to Austin, Texas. Move to Austin, Texas right now. You ain't gonna have no trouble there. Do that.
Or Miami
is another place. Vegas is another place. Like I totally and Calabasas.
You can name any city in the Western world.
Bro, it's just crazy. Like there's studies that show African American men actually have an advantage on dating apps. No, bro. Like I thought he was gonna say something else. It's like, oh, I'm Bengali and I'm 5'3" or some shit. No,
you know what it is? The ultimate thing that we could give any
it's
guy.
cold out there having a fucking 8-inch schlong. These girls, they want like something a little smaller. They don't want that like big dick.
It hurts. The ultimate thing you could give any guy would be the
Jesus.
ability to not self-sabotage, not criticize yourself, and just take massive action. If every guy listening could just like turn off the self-tacking part of your brain and take a lot of action, you would have the results that you wanted.
Yeah, that's the premise of that book, right? That you recommended to me.
Which one?
No More Excuses. Is like,
okay.
Just take action. You already know what to do. Just fucking do it. Stop making excuses. All right, let's see.
That's like the secret sauce behind everything. Even like weight, people losing weight or whatever. Like a lot of the time, it's not that they don't know what to do. It's like, how do you get yourself to do the thing that you know you need to be doing?
I mean, I don't know. I think there's more to it than that, but I think that's a big part of it for sure. I tried the carnivore diet just to see if I can lose weight with it. I melted like an ice cream within a month. Last half, yeah, carnivore diet is great for losing weight. I did the carnivore diet for about 7-8 months. It doesn't work well for everyone. I was one of those people. The issue is that my glucose skyrocketed and I became pre-diabetic for a period of time. So my doctor was really concerned about that. Like my glucose levels were like 130, 140, which is bordering on like not even pre-diabetic, just straight up diabetic. And so when I went back to the paleo diet, my numbers dropped to like 80, 75, where they're supposed to be. So, and the way my doctor explained it is that when you're eating a lot of protein, sometimes your body can't process it. So it turns it into sugars. So for me, long-term, carnivore diet was not a good idea, but I do know it's really good for losing weight.
Chads are their own race.
I've seen it. I lose to them all the time. Chads are so hard to deal with.
You guys played the coding ass. I got this. Which makes.
What else do you guys want to talk about besides the chat?
I don't know. I'm down for whatever.
Somebody had a question.
Someone said there was a Tate conversation. Does anyone want to give me like the 10-second rundown?
Not this shit again.
No, it's okay. Never mind. No, move on.
Michael's going to go off, bro.
Yeah, like,
no,
and he's going to make it feel like it's your fault.
Okay, sorry. I missed it. All right. Move on.
I mean, we could. I don't mind. I don't mind talking about it, but
this man wants the drama.
I feel like we kind of reached the pinnacle. Like I think if we talk about it for another hour, like no progress will be made.
Okay, no, all good.
Michael will just continue straw manning me, and I'm just going to.
Wow, what did I miss? Jesus! All right,
I'll go back and look. You can watch it back. No, look, I do understand. Just I'll quickly say this: like, if my friends were under attack and it seems like they're your friends, like I would probably feel defensive too. So I get that.
Yeah, I mean, but I felt this way before I ever knew them. I'll be honest with you.
Okay. How many grams of protein do you eat a day, Alex? Probably 150 grams or so, maybe 170. I eat a lot of steak. Here's a pro tip for everyone, including people on this panel. Order steak online. There's this website called grasslandbeef.com, and their steak is just a lot better than anything I can find in like Whole Foods or whatever. And it's also slightly cheaper, especially when you order in bulk. So I'll just order 15, 20 pounds of like fucking skirt steak at a time. And it's delicious. It's like the best skirt steak I've ever had. So, yeah, pro tip. Bumble CEO spoke about how AI will copy your personality and talk on your behalf to find you a partner. Thoughts?
Yeah, find one for
Bro,
me.
imagine your phone just being in and AI is just chatting to each other for like a week.
500 girls. Yeah, that'd be pretty.
Dude, we're going to live through a very interesting life seeing all this crazy tech.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It gets to a point, I think, where it's tough because someone's going to create some AI to get a bunch of matches to, have conversation. And then the girls are going to create AI, and then it's going to be like, fuck, all right, let's go back to square one. And then you're going to have an app where it's like, okay, no AI on this. And then someone's probably going to hack that. And yeah, I don't know, man. It's just going to be tough. The whole catfishing thing's going to really elevate. It's no longer going to be, oh, is this girl just a little bit fat? It's going to be, hang on, is this AI photos? Is this AI personality? Is this a whole thing? Like,
so here's where I think that's going. I think some apps already are doing this, but I think it's going to be that everyone's going to be required to send a selfie video using the camera function inside the app to show that you look like your photos. I think that's going to become required within next year. It's just the only logical move for dating apps.
Yep.
Dude, I have guys in my group chat who are doing AI photos in different places, and like they're blowing up their online dating.
Yeah, I know.
Results.
Yeah. Most of the services I've seen suck, but this one guy that does it, who's in my group is really fucking good. He reached out to me and I was like super dismissive, and I was like, okay, fine, why don't you AI me? And then he did. And I showed to my girlfriend. She's like, wait, that's not real. And I'm like, all right, this is legit.
Yeah, at first when guys were doing it, I was like, dude, this is so obviously AI. This was only like a year ago. I was like, dude, this is horrible.
Yeah.
Like, no, you can't use it. And now to the point where I'm giving like critique and the guy's like, oh yeah, this is AI, so I can change it. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what the fuck? Like, insane. So yeah, I don't think we're too far away from like almost everyone using it.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. What was the question? Hold on. There was a question for me back there.
Yeah, it was Mike. What would you say? Okay, here we go.
Okay, so the best place to mingle with girls are where there's more girls than guys. So the answer to your question is, if you're on the dance floor at a nightclub, no, it's not a good place to mingle with girls. I have kind of an opposite viewpoint than a lot of other people. I like nightclubs because they're loud, and because they're loud, I'm the only guy they can hear, because I choose internally to be louder than the nightclub, and the girl like can hear me, but she can't hear other guys, which is a massive advantage for me. So I like mingling with girls in a nightclub, but house parties are incredible. Like we had a house party. This real estate developer just had this humongous fucking $15 million mansion. We had a huge party there with like 300 girls, and like there were so many more girls than guys. That obviously is better. You get to sit out by the fire. There's an open bar. So yeah, anything like that, house parties are going to be better. But the true answer is, the best mingling with girls I've ever done was the Playboy Mansion back in 2015.
Is the Playboy Mansion like dead now, or what happened to that?
Yeah,
after
no, they sold it. So near the end of Hugh Hefner's life, he sold the Playboy Mansion, but the way it worked is he had the right to live in it until his death, and then it fully went over to the new owner. He also sold Playboy corporate in Chicago. He sold that off, and then I think he also sold off Playboy Plus. So Crystal Hefner, his widow, she had to leave the house, and Cooper's not involved there. I actually have a friend of a friend who owns the old house on Charing Cross.
Can you show your AI pics, Alex? Yeah, I'll show a few. All right, 1 second. These are really good. I don't actually use these, by the way. I just think these are really good. So this is fake. This is AI.
Why did you AI a photo that you could have just taken to Miami? That looks like
I didn't AI this.
What app did you use for this?
I like I said, I didn't do it myself. It was the one of the guys in my group who reached out to me. But wait, fuck, I fucked it up. But yeah, it looks real, right?
Yeah, but it's not even that big of a flex. You're like at some person's balcony.
Yeah, I know. But
like the AI pics I'm talking about are like people are like traveling to like France and stuff when they're like just in their mom's basement.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
AI
fighting an elephant.
Again, I didn't AI this. This was someone who did it for me as a demo. Wait, let me find another good one. 1 second. I just don't want to like dox his identity.
Yo, Tommy, come say something in your language.
Okay.
I'll answer this question in the meantime. Regarding women, is being energetic, goofy, and quirky a huge turnoff, even if you're having a good time? For some women, no. For some women, yes. I'm very. Oh yeah, say something in Australian.
G'day, cunts. How you fucking going, you bloody poofters? Bloody poofter cunts.
Beg your pardon, you fuckwit. But yeah,
hello, gentlemen. How are you today?
To be honest, I think it's just you got to be authentic to who you are at a certain level. I call this like phase 5 of the game as part of its naturalization. It's like I'm very energetic and goofy and quirky, and if I'm that way, I'm going to attract girls that are also that way. It doesn't mean I don't have any masculine qualities. It doesn't mean I can't be like serious. It doesn't mean I don't have any boundaries or whatever. You got to be a balance. It's got to be a balance of everything. But I'm not going to mute my own personality that women naturally find attractive. And I can find the ideal woman for me just so because I want to be some ideal that I'm, I think that I should be. I don't know if I explained that very well. I'm kind of sleepy, but
yeah, you just have to build sexual tension. As long as you don't forget about that, you're fine.
Yeah, when you're seducing a girl, you're not like if I'm getting head, I'm not going to be like, whoa, what's going on down there? I'm gonna talk.
She's like, not much. Still trying to find it.
Where is that guy?
Best place to meet nerdy women. I don't think pre-selection necessarily works on them, Michael.
Yeah, absolutely. That's incorrect. Pre-selection, literally, Mac and Murphy just pulled out a video pretty recently where he goes over how much more women are attracted to men who are married or men who are taken. Goes over this. I saw one study. There was a variance of something like 31% where women found men to be more attractive when they were taken versus when they were single. There's numerous other studies. Southwest University in China. If you guys want to check out scientific reports, they have a ton of studies on mate choice copying in humans. The University of St. Andrews, and then what's the other one? I can't remember. I believe it's the Royal Society. All have studies that they've done recently. Texas Tech University has one, and they basically all show indefatigably it's immutable. It's completely unequivocal. When you are with women and women see other women approve you, you just get so much more attraction from women in general. Now, doesn't mean they're going to throw themselves at you, but no, but I've seen guys overcome. Again, I have a client who's 4'11" who just bagged a super hot chick because of the fact they constantly see him with other girls. Paid her no money, nothing like that. It was just one of those situations where they've been friends for a while, and every weekend he'd go out, he'd always have like 6 or 7 girls with him.
I was going to ask you,
can I just comment
Michael,
on the nerdy comment real quick? Sorry, because I agree with this. Like, you're always going to get attraction from pre-selection. I think what this guy might be alluding to is more the concern, objection, or attainability that might happen. Because if you are a nerdy girl that I guess doesn't get that much attention, and then you see, for example, someone like Michael, and all these stories are full of like super hot girls, that girl is not necessarily going to be like very receptive to you, because she probably doesn't think she's good enough. Like, she probably thinks like, I don't have a chance with this guy. The same way that you might go up to a girl, she doesn't give you much, and you're like, oh, fuck this girl, actually, how annoying, what a bitch. So the girl might already be thinking that. So if you have girls that are a little bit more insecure or a little bit more shy, you can still use pre-selection to create that attraction, but then you're going to have to soften yourself a little bit or show some intent or make her feel a little bit more trusted, that you're not just going to be like some fuckboy that doesn't give a shit about her. So that's the only thing you'd keep in mind when it comes to like a nerdy shy girl.
Yo, I just had this random thought. Do you feel like, because now dating is more complicated, you have to spend a little bit more time in dating and more like energy is expended in building yourself up, self-development and dating? Do you feel like that makes society less prosperous because like a large portion of people's time is spent dating, whereas like back in the old day, you get married 14 to 16 and you just contribute to society after that?
No, because from the studies I've seen, that sexual selection is even stronger than natural selection. So people will do a lot of things, start businesses, create, invent, at least partially because they want to get pussy. So I think if it wasn't for for women or dating, that like men would just not bother doing most of the shit they do anyway.
Yeah, but most of the billionaires are becoming billionaires after they're married.
There are some stats that you improve like the amount you earn after being
kids.
married, but I kind of it's hard to say, because I kind of agree with Alex here that a lot of the motivations are probably for dating or for the girl. But I think
what I'm saying is like,
where you settle down, you want to look after your family, you probably spend more time.
I would have never gone down this whole road. I would never have a YouTube channel. I would never stop being a victim if it wasn't for my initial desire when I was in college to get laid. Like, none of this would have happened. There would be no playing with fire. There would be no fire text. There would be no this conversation. Like, all of that started. And then a part of like learning to be better with women was like, oh, Tyler says you should read some self-help books. Let me read that. And then that just kicked off a whole thing. So I don't know, at least for me, that played a huge role.
Oh, and I guess with the dating market the way it is now, women are probably investing more into the economy too, as in like they're having careers and whatever. Again, the argument is we have less children now, which is a huge problem. But yeah, I don't know. There's like both sides to this. I'm not sure which is better.
Yeah, you could make the same argument that all the money we spend on childcare then also doesn't benefit the technological advancements of society. But yet those technological advancements are so that we can acquire.
You need humans.
Correct, but you're extrapolating. You also need women to make humans, right? So like if you go back far enough, all selection.
But what I'm saying is most people they would date for like what 2, 3, 4, 5 years, settle down, have kids, as opposed to what we're doing is like dating for like decades.
Well, I'll tell you if women.
But what I'm saying is society in general. Society in general now, because it's more competitive.
If you were going to say the pickiness of women has to do with a lot of guys not being able to settle with one girl. Like, they either don't live up and can't get a date, or it's a situation where they meet a girl and then he doesn't fit the bill and then she leaves him. Like, those things tend to happen more with women, just because it's parental investment hypothesis, basically because women have more to lose when they have babies with the wrong people. That's the reason why they're more picky. And that's the reason. So because of that, we're never going to get to the point where it's nobody's fault. It's just a function of evolution. We're never going to get to a point where everybody can just like find someone when we're 18 and then just go off and settle with them and stay with them for the rest of their life. We just can't do that, because there's not enough women to go around to make that happen.
Wait, there's not enough women to go around to have for every guy to have a partner?
There is in encouraged monogamy or arranged marriage societies, there are enough women, because obviously you're going to have the same amount of men as women, unless we're talking about like China with the one-child policy. But the problem is women do not evenly distribute with their desires. They tend to aim their desires upward. Some will say far upward, some will say not that far upward, but they don't aim their desires across or down. And so because that, there's a group of men across and down from the mid-tier women that cannot find a partner. So that because of that, there are not enough women. Now, that would change if there were 3 times as many women as men on the planet. Hypergamy would, I'm not saying it wouldn't exist, but it wouldn't be anything any one of us would notice, because we'd all be dating.
I have another question.
Yeah.
So, like, remember, like prehistoric societies, like a quarter of all men died at the hands of another man. Is there something about war? Is there something about war that creates a decent dating dynamic?
Ratio? Yeah. So again, dude, if you want to get into this, read Dr. Buss's books. He goes over this concept of like war causing there to be. So when they were to ask these ancestral tribes, they're like, "Why did you go to war?" They all looked at him and said, "Well, we go to war for a wife." And then they asked the whoever, the ethnographer or the archaeologist or the anthropologist, they say, "Hey, so why is it that you guys go to war?" And it's like, "Well, we go to war for our country." And these Aboriginal men and these men from the Yanomamo men were like laughing. They're like, "What the fuck do you mean you go to war for your country? We go to war to get a wife," because that's correct. What'll happen is in war, men will die, and the ratio will then. Because you have access. If you have 100 men and 100 women and they're evenly distributed as far as attractiveness is concerned, you're going to have excess men, because throughout history, we've seen 40% of men and 80% of women have reproduced. So there's a 60% of men that either die a virgin or just never have children. And those men have to take chances, or what society will do is put those men into war or have different things where they have to take chance. Now you come back from war, you have all these accolades. Now you have a high chance of getting a wife because you're one of the men that's left. So exactly what you said. Yes, it's a surplus of men.
When you think about like, war. And also like what's it called, like the migrant crisis and stuff like that. Like most of the migrants are men. So it's like if you think about like Europe or the US as like a party, it's like a ton of dudes are coming through the door, and then there's no war, and it's like it creates a bad ratio in general. This is just like random thought.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For immigration, I would totally be in favor of having like a big titty Latina visa, where like hot big titty Latinas just get instantly come in the country. I'm not even kidding. Like that's what I would do if I was fucking in power.
I mean, it literally would make society better. I would expect you're going to see. with this administration, I would say there's like all Scandinavian countries have unlimited access. Australia, Canada, they have unlimited access.
Come on, dude. We want the big tits. That's like fucking.
Dude, who's going to be the talent czar? We got to have a talent czar to judge the talent. Priority visas for priority women.
Yeah, and then you have like
imagine how crazy it was. Like we want to have more children, so we just let only women come into the country. Could you imagine that? How crazy!
Dude, that would actually make sense.
That would make sense. If America's the best country in the planet, it should also have the best ratio on the planet. Like you can't have you can't call something the best.
We found a topic that we all agree on.
You can't have something called the best club in Miami and then the ratio sucks. Like you just can't have that.
Agreed. I mean, yeah, if you want to make the United States a nightclub and just say the bouncers can let all the women in, I can't find an argument against it other than it's inhumane for these other countries. Nicaragua with no women, like that would be.
Why would it be inhumane?
It gives them motivation to improve their country. No, they could forbid people from coming in on their side. I don't know. They could do shit.
Hey, if they want to keep the women, they better make their laws better.
Yeah, they better make their country better. Yeah.
It's not my fault you chose to be a communist. You know,
could you imagine?
So I've gotten comfortable.
We like.
it's not my fault that Alejandra decided to come to Miami.
We only let hyper intelligent, like PhDs and attractive women into the country. Could you imagine if we did that for like 50 years with this country?
Because the PhDs, they're too busy like researching to fuck the girls anyway. So it's like,
oh my god,
yeah, only let in the nerdy.
There's a girl coming to visit.
Guys.
There's a girl coming to visit me from Latvia tomorrow, and she's so fucking beautiful that I'm just like, I want to go to the DHS and just be like, do you see her? Like, what are we doing? Like, give her a fucking visa right now, bro. She's
Yeah, but the problem with that
obviously we screen them. It'll be a very quick screen, just 1 minute. Like, are you a terrorist?
Yeah, and you pat them down a little bit. You know, make sure they're not carrying any weapons of mass destruction. Yeah,
look, don't show it. But should that girl? I put it in the private chat. Should that girl have to wait for a visa? Seriously, bro. Like, what is wrong with our country? This girl can't work in the States. No, bro. Come on, insane.
Yeah. All right. So I've gotten comfortable approaching, but I feel a difference between the girls I'm going after and really hot girls. What do I need to understand about hot girls to make things work? Probably we're going to have some disagreement. I don't think hot girls are radically different than any other type of girl. I think probably the biggest thing is you're putting them on a pedestal in your mind, which means you're playing it more safe, which means you're more nervous around them. You're more free to take chances. I think hot girls have more options. That is true. But I think any girl who's like 6.5 and above has a shitload of options. There's not really a difference between 300 options and 800 options a day. So yeah, that's my take on that. But
of course, you're right. The answer is that the girls aren't different. You are different around the girls. Now, I will say what you said before. More attractive women, it's not that they're more arrogant or crazy or what. More attractive women are more susceptible to stimulus depending on the situation they put themselves in. I've dealt with girls, like I said, when I was at the Playboy Mansion and I would meet girls there, they were so used to stimulus that it was like I knew when I was talking to them that I was going to have to compete with athletes, celebrities that were literally there at the mansion. But like whenever when I met my girlfriend who lived in Southwest Arkansas, when I first met her, I didn't have to deal with any of those. I didn't have to deal with any of those vicissitudes. I didn't have to deal with any of those distractions and all that stimulus. So I've said this before. I think the number one thing I would look for a long-term partner from a woman is her necessity for stimulus. How much stimulus does she need outside of our relationship? And I've met beautiful women who need a lot of stimulus, and I met beautiful women who don't. I met ugly women who need a ton of stimulus because they're not beautiful. So I mean, that would be the number one thing I would look at. That's the only thing that I see that is different. And I do have a different strategy when a woman requires a fucking ton of stimulus. But for the most part, the problem isn't the girl. The problem is you. The girl is not different because she's hot. You are different because she's hot. And until you film yourself, that's why I recommend everybody go try man on the street videos, film them. You don't even have to fucking post them. I recommend everyone try it. And then when you catch the flamboyant movement with your head, or they're like, yeah, wow, that's so great. Yeah. I saw
that shit doesn't work.
And I couldn't fucking believe it. I was like, dude, I was talking to the guy. He sounded normal. I was like, that's amazing. Let me see your dress. Spin around. Yay. I'm like, bro, what the fuck happened to you? But because they did the man on the street video, then I explained to him, no, dude, she thinks you're homosexual. But he didn't understand. So I recommend everybody do man on the street videos, film yourself. The reason why I say man on the street, doing a hidden infield is going to get you in trouble. But you need some, like we do on my Tuesday calls, my guys jump on and then we review man on the street video so we can see what's going on. And guys like, I don't know why girls don't like me. And then I watch him do the interview. Hello, what do you like, boys? Blah, and he sounds like weird as shit. And he doesn't understand what he sounds like. And we explain it to him, or he's too quiet, or he's afraid to put the microphone in the girl's face, whatever. But you don't know that. I can't get that feedback or you won't get that feedback unless you watch yourself on camera.
Yeah, these are called blind spots, and everyone has them.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. It's like, even just if you just want to get started, just fucking put your phone on record and just listen back to how you sound. It's like the easiest place to start. But yeah, agree. Like, make sure you're not acting different around hot girls. And then from a mindset point of view, and then from a behavioral point of view, yeah, just keep in mind, as Michael said, these girls are used to getting a lot of attention. So if you go up and all you're doing is just giving her attention, it's never going to work. You usually have to be a little bit more indirect, build attraction up. But yeah, make sure you're not acting like a pussy around just because they're hot.
The comment that was put up, They're vetting people. The gold card costs $5 million. They're vetting the people. So maybe, but it's gonna be mostly fucking old dudes.
But dudes, that's gonna be dudes. Yeah, that's the problem. Like I'm fine with the gold card. How about this? Every time you have a gold card, then there needs to be a woman who either has a nursing degree or is fucking hot as shit that gets in the country with every gold card. That'd be fine.
1 to 2 ratio. So pay $5 million, bring 2 hot girls in with you.
Yeah. Again, let's turn the United States into a nightclub. Exactly. I don't have a problem with
like
that.
a Hollywood Hills
Guys,
party.
Let me tell you something. I go to places where there's way more girls than guys. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's a 10X conference. I don't give a shit what it. I don't care if it's a Playboy Mansion, a Maxim party. I don't care if it's on stage at Access. I like to go to places where there's more women than men, and the world is just more fun. It's better. You have more cool conversations with your guy friends. Everything is chill. Nobody fights. Everyone is chill. You end up leaving with some stunning woman. Women compete for your attention. The world is just better the more you can get into places with a better ratio, period. So I live in the city with the best ratio probably in the world. That's why I stay here.
Touche.
Marcus, Australia seems to have very attractive women. Oh,
sorry, my bad. I clicked on the comment as you were reading it. Do you want to just go back to it? I just don't see where it was.
So I think it was something like, why do I like Eastern European girls if there's so many fucking hotties in Australia? The reason is there's not that many hotties in Australia. I mean, we have some very attractive women from Australia, but our obesity rate is like creeping up to America right now. So, and we have a lot of like immigrants in the city. There's a lot of like Asian immigrants and stuff here. So yes, there's certain areas of Australia that have incredibly hot women, but it's just not like our country is like sort of Eastern Europe where everyone seems to be fit, look after themselves, they're very feminine. There is a big difference there.
Yo, are you going to Russia after they open it up?
Me?
I would go to Russia after they open for those. Yeah.
All right, boys trip.
Yo,
let's do a game panel boys trip. Russia.
I would pick Latvia or Ukraine or Poland or someplace.
All
like
the
that,
girls left
Romania.
Ukraine. All the girls are still in Russia, and 10% of the guys.
Whatever. I'm just saying. I was so against this shit. I was like, no, bro, make it work in America or you're a bitch. And then I started seeing an Eastern European girl, and I'm like, I just want to say, please forgive me. I was wrong. These women are fucking incredible. They are so fine. I come home, my apartment is clean, and we just started dating, bro. I'm like, what in the shit is going on, bro? They don't ask for nothing. Wherever I want to go, whatever I do, they're totally down for it. Everywhere we go, dudes are just staring at them. Like look, you guys see the clip that what I just sent you in the private chat. That girl right there. Every time we go somewhere, dudes are just fucking staring at her, and it's just like she's so fucking respectful. Doesn't like the whole time will not let go of my hand, and I'm like, I didn't know it was like this, dog. I didn't know it was like this. So I get it. I get it.
The problem with Russia is
got
like
a new
language
comment.
barrier.
Austin is so corny.
Wait, let me address that.
No wonder
comment.
he only pulls BBWs.
No, I wanted to address that comment for actually a minute because I think this is just kind of puzzles me why I see a lot of this type of mindset in the pickup community, and especially the red pill community, which is that like sex inherently is not a win for a woman. Sex absolutely can be a win-win proposition. It is not a zero-sum game. If you fuck a girl well, it's definitely a win for her. In fact, I would argue that if you fuck a girl well, it's a bigger win for her than it is for you. Because she's going to come 4 or 5 times, and you're going to come once. So, like in a porno, who's screaming at the top of their lungs? Is it the guy? Oh my god! Or is it the fucking girl? Like clearly, one of them is having a little bit of a better time. So, So I don't think you need to like entice the pot. Like I don't think you need to give her anything extra. I think just literally if you just fuck her well, that's giving her already enough enticement as it is. So I think this is just
I think that mindset comes from a lack of perception of your own value. Like a lot of guys just don't think that they have any value.
No, it comes from not understand. It comes from this idea that women inherently don't really like sex that much. That's and it's a very silly mindset. I see it in the red pill a lot. Like oh, you need to give a girl some other incentive besides just your dick. But women love
because they don't think that they're enough.
Yeah, okay.
It's both, but yeah,
it's both. Yeah. All right, let's do like a few more questions. Hey Marcus, what do you think the realistic body of girls 18-29 is? I hear every girl sleeps around. Oh, I think he's saying, what's the realistic body count of girls 18-29?
Oh my god! I mean, you can just look up this data, right? Like, what it's probably like 5 or something if you look at this data. Now, you could argue the girls that are going out.
Yeah, so you're not asking about realistic body count of girls. You're asking a realistic body count of girls that you bump into and find attractive. That's what you're asking. So, and for that group, I'm going to say in excess of 20, maybe 30, somewhere around there.
I don't know.
I mean, this is where we're going to disagree. I think like, oh, am I lagging a little bit? Look, the average is like 5, and I agree. Like, if you go out to a club and there's a girl that's like promiscuous there, and she seems like she's super open sexually, then yeah, it's probably going to be like 20, right? But I did a year where I tracked everything. It was like leg count, the amount of time I spent with the girl, like what objection she came up with, and between me and Alex in that year, we slept with like 250 girls or something. And the leg count often wasn't crazy, and like, of course, the girls could lie, but the way I usually frame it is, hey, look, I'm not going to judge you if it's low. I do prefer experienced girls, but like, how many guys have you been with? So like, if anything, I'm trying to bias them to give me a high number. And even then, yeah, one of the goals was like fucking 100 and something, right? But for the most part, it wasn't crazy. Like, there was a lot of just like 2, 3. And again, it depends where you are. Like, some of that time was in Europe, where girls probably aren't as like open sexually. But I mean, at the end of the day, honestly, I think people care about this like way too fucking much.
Yeah, way too
much. If you don't want a promiscuous girl, you're going to be able to understand and be able to tell that without finding out her leg count, right? Like, it's if you want a girl that's, a little bit more reserved, or she's got some like religious values there or something, you're going to find that out without knowing her leg count.
Guys in the red pill overblow a girl's body count a lot. I'm on my 5th serious relationship right now. Every single one of them, their body count is less than 20. Most of them, it's single digits. I
misspoke earlier. I meant like, I'm at the club all the time.
Okay, yeah, there's a sample bias there. Yeah.
And they're really hot, and they live in LA or Miami or Las Vegas. 20 is a low number, bro. Like, but I agree with you. In general, Marcus is obviously correct. It's 5. It's probably 5. But when we're talking about like these hyper chicks, again, if you see the we call it, I forgot what we call it, like the bougie or the cunty cycle, which is, it goes Coachella, Burning Man, Ibiza, then it goes Art Basel, EDC. There's like
just going to Ibiza doubles her body count in of itself,
and then Dubai, and then it follows off of Dubai, like where the girls who follow the F1 races around the world. That I mean, we're talking body counts like way high. From that.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that. But yeah, that I think just I've never met any of my girlfriends at a club. So yeah, like you can find hot girls outside of clubs, is the point I'm making.
I don't think I have either.
Does not busting when you bang girl raise your value in a girl's eyes? Oh my lord.
Yes.
Yeah. She admires your discipline. No, it actually hurts your chances, because then she thinks, oh my God, is there something wrong with me? Does he not find me attractive? I've had actual mini arguments with girls the nights that I couldn't come, and then they were like, "What the fuck? Is it something I did?" And they just won't take no. It has nothing to do with you as an answer. So no.
I've seen this work. I've seen it work.
Yeah, I use this. I did this for a year where I did like tantric semen retention. And dude, I agree. Like, if you just say, "Oh, I wasn't able to come, but it's not your fault," but if you tell the girl, like, listen, I'm into tantra, like, this is what I do, blah, blah. And then you talk about why you're doing it, right? It puts the focus in the present moment. I can focus on the girl. I can last as long as I want. She sees you as like an authority here. But then afterwards, what you say is, look, I've been doing this for like 3 months. I mean, there's one girl that kind of made me come earlier. But other than that, like, I've been good. They hear that. I swear to God, bro, it's a challenge.
This one girl, she's better than you.
Girl, and you're like, yeah. And I mean, but like, we had a lot of chemistry. She was really hot. So like, it just happened, right? For this period of time, holy fuck, the girls would go crazy. Like, they'd be rapey, like how much they're trying to make you come. And then you say like, oh, maybe next time. Like, yeah, maybe next time I see you is where I'll like stop this. Like, dude, it's insane. But yeah, then I just got fucking. Then I just wanted to come after that period. But yeah, it's.
Yeah, dude, I don't know why you would torture yourself like that.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like, it does. I feel like there are some benefits. I can't do it for an extended period of time, but I'll do it for like a couple of weeks. And
dude, imagine that in a normie article about how to see a girl again. It's like step 1.
Exactly. Yeah.
I feel like I've gotten some of my like best ideas right after coming.
Really, I feel like I literally just lay down and
she
I
needs
feel
to
like
leave.
I'm
Like
in
that's
outer
one of the
space.
ideas you have.
I get like this, just like massive, like
an idea that this bitch needs to go. Is
just
that what
flush
you're
of like
Get the
everything
fuck
on my
out.
mind, and I'm like really clear headed for a few minutes.
Oh, my God.
Dude, I feel like
that
a
makes sense.
lame cow in the middle of a road just got hit by a car. I'm just laying down.
Some of that, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like the older I get, man, like I used to be able to like go multiple rounds. Now if I come, I'm done. See me in like fucking 2 days. You know what I mean? Whereas if I do retention, then it doesn't affect you at all, obviously.
Come on, I'll show you red pill works. You bash all the time. Let's throw down in game. This would be like sort of like me saying that like I think the paleo diet is the best, and you say I think the vegan diet is the best. So we're gonna fight, and then whoever wins, their ideology is correct. This wouldn't really affect whether who's right or wrong, who has better riz. But anyway, Mike, here's I think it's a respectful question, which is why I pulled it up, because it's just devil's advocate.
Yeah.
You always invite women to different events in order to spend time with them. Why don't you think you're enough to just invite women to a one-on-one date? I think I know what you're going to say, but I'll let you put in your own words.
I have one-on-one dates all the time. My goal, the majority of people I talk to, it's really funny. I have a friend of mine named Ryan Pineda. Ryan Pineda lives here in Vegas. Ryan Pineda gives advice on real estate, but his advice is white belt advice. It's usually like very basic advice because that's who his audience is. It's a bunch of white belts. If you want to say what my main thing I teach is attraction, how to make men more attractive to women. If I'm teaching attraction, then what I need to do is get as many women in my vicinity as possible, and then have a ratio of like 7-8 girls to 1. So I emphasize the group events. That doesn't mean I don't go on one-on-one events. I haven't not gone on a date with a girl in like years, other than, you know, maybe when I was with my girlfriend. But like I go on dates. I have a date tonight and I have another date tomorrow night. One-on-ones are fine. It's just that's not what I'm here to teach. Most guys, especially if you're not attractive to women, I recommend using Social Circle and using a pre-selection, fixing your social media, and then having these group events so that you can go from there and have an insta date from the event and then end up pulling the girl from that. That's why I'm emphasizing to the white belts to do that.
Yeah, but you just pull mids and BBWs.
That's what I heard.
Wait, Michael, what do you think about using AI to build up your social media?
I'm not opposed to it, bro. Like, listen, man. So rule number 4, social media is fake and I'm okay with it. Girls keep doing fake shit on social media. I do not care. You see that the what's his face live parallel lives where he has the fake number of followers and the girls like lose his shit. I find zero
I know
zero moral quandary from that, bro. I had a girl like there's these dudes in Vegas. Now I don't recommend doing this, but they would lie to girls and be like, "Oh man, I have 80,000 subs on OnlyFans. Come have sex with me on my OnlyFans." And they were like doctored images. These guys would do it, and then they ended up banging a bunch of chicks by doing it. I had this one girl come complaining to me about it, and I was like, "Why are you complaining to me? You shouldn't be fucking dudes because of how many followers they have. Like that's on you. That's not on me." So again, if that's the game we're playing, I have no problem if a dude uses Face App, if a dude uses AI to make himself look better. I have no problem with that shit. Do whatever it is that you want to do, because it's like there's no moral reason to not do it when women aren't doing it. So I don't have a problem with you doing it either.
So if everyone's killing people, it'd be okay for you to kill someone.
I like the idea of like faking the OnlyFans. It's a little evil, but I love it.
I know 4 dudes who did it here. They faked like they had a huge OnlyFans following, and then one of them actually pulled it off. Like he lied for so long and banged so many chicks that he actually did gain a following from doing it. I had girls crying to me like, "Oh, I fucked so and so, and I didn't get paid any money." And I'm like, "Why the fuck are you telling me this shit? Like, you shouldn't be fucking dudes. Like, you made the decision."
Few questions on this, just for hypothetical reasons. Not me. It's just my avatar asking. How would they first approach the OnlyFans girls? These guys who are not really.
I've asked this question a million times. Are you interested in collab? Would you like to make content? Not super
on Instagram, on OnlyFans?
You just say, would you like to collab? If you're a male influencer who does this and you say, would you like to collab? She knows what it means. And then and these girls all tend to be like massively inked up. Like the differentiation for me is tattoo on the front of the body. Tattoos on your arms, tattoos on your leg.
Why do girls get tattoos just when it makes them look so masculine and disgusting?
These guys are DMing the girls on Instagram. You said right on Instagram. They're sending
Instagram usually, yeah. Okay. They might message them on OF too. But yeah, I've asked this question before because I had Amber MG on. I had a bunch of different girls on. One of the first things I asked is like, how do you pick which guys that you film with? And then they're always like vague about it, or it's their boyfriend, or they'll be in there's a AVN, a porn group chat that a bunch of the girls are in here in Vegas, and they'll film with these dudes or whatever. And they would explain it to me, but like there were a bunch of guys who were fronting like they were so they would basically, you could take your what's the thing called? Your insights on OnlyFans. Again, guys, I don't know how to use this, but it would take, that girl who showed that she made $50 million on OnlyFans, whatever that page is, they would take it and just fake the numbers and then show it to girls and then send a video of them fucking like one. So let's just say that it worked the first time and they got some girl who was a dime piece to have sex with them. Then they show the video of them having sex with the dime piece, show that I made 80 grand this month, blah, 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 whatever. And the girl's like, okay, fuck it. And then they end up having, and the guy does it over and over and over again.
Michael, can you get screenshots of one of these conversations of like a guy who was able to successfully pull
Probably
this
not. These guys don't like me very much. They're not big fans.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can do this anymore. I know that at least in Australia, I'm not sure if it's different with OnlyFans in America, but they've changed it now that you can't have anyone in your videos unless they're tagged through OnlyFans itself. Yeah. So you'll be able to like see their account and know. And maybe that's part of the reason they've done it as well. So yeah,
right, but you won't see their insights externally. You won't see their insights externally. What you will see is how many likes they get on each post. But
exactly, you'll see how much activity. Yeah.
All I'm saying is I've seen it work so many times. Dude, I know a guy here. I love the dude, but he bought millions of followers and he gets everyone on his podcast. His podcast gets like 400 views an episode, and everybody still comes on his podcast and like, but whatever, charge it to the game. I haven't had Gary Vaynerchuk on my show. I haven't had Grant Cardone on my show.
People like that fall for that. To me, it's so obvious when people buy their.
They do, like they still do it. It's crazy. I mean, I just can't. I couldn't understand. I'm like, okay, you'd rather go on his show than mine, I guess. Like, but people still fall for it. 100%.
Did he buy YouTube subscribers or
what's up?
Was it YouTube subscribers he bought or Instagram or which subscribers?
He bought both. He made a fucking ridiculous amount of money in crypto and then just used that money to build
people. It's not even expensive to buy. How do people not like figure that out? Because I have people like reach out to me.
So it's so funny. I talked to people afterwards and they're like, "Yeah, I realized it was fake, but everyone's been on there." At this point, everyone's been on his show. I can send it to you guys. And when I say everyone, I mean fucking everyone has been on this dude's show, and he's still getting like 200-300 views. Okay.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Again, I'm not going to call him out publicly because I really like the guy, and I've been on his show twice. But that's because I don't say no to anyone.
You know who? There was one person that was able to get me to go on their podcast, even though they buy subscribers, because I just didn't check because they were a fucking rabbi. I met them at like a debate event, and he was like a legit fucking rabbi. He was like, "Yeah, let's do a debate." I was like, "All right, bro." And then I look, he has 110,000 subscribers. I'm like, "All right, yeah." And then I go on, we do a debate, and then it gets like 25 views, and then I look and like, that's the thing that got the most views on his channel ever, and I'm like, holy fucking shit, this rabbi just fucking swindled me. He swindled me, the fucking rabbi.
Dude, those Jews, right?
Yeah,
I've had the opposite happen to me twice. One time.
All right, Michael, let me pull this guy up so we can show everyone.
No, do not show
this guy invited me too.
I love the guy. He's a super cool guy.
Yeah, this was the guy I was thinking of. Yeah, this is the exact guy.
Everyone 11.6. Oh, sorry. Fuck.
I love the dude, and he has, and whenever I do his show, he takes good care of everyone. Like he has a lot of money behind his shit, but it's like,
what the fuck? You never invited me.
And he gets some really wacky people on, bro. Like I've seen some clips, and dude, one guy
Alex
was
took
talking
that personally.
Dude, one guy was talking about putting fruit on your wounds. There was some weird shit.
He's fucking inviting everyone else. I have to fucking deal
with
Alex,
are you still butthurt that Michael and I went on the tier list for that guy?
Yeah, I've never heard of that dude until you shared with me. But yeah,
Alex, would you rather be shit talked than ignored if someone put you in a video?
I don't really need attention at all. Like I don't really thrive from that per se. I don't mind when people shit talk me. I just don't like when people make up lies about me. So you can shit talk me all you want, but if you make up lies about me, then I'm like not a fan of that. But obviously people do it all the time, and I just ignored.
It's just par for the course. If you wanna grow anything to a big level, you're gonna have people talking shit.
Yeah.
If you don't have haters, you are not popping.
the one that used to bother me all the time is when dudes were like, "Oh, but you paid these girls," especially on Twitter. And I was like, "Well, I'll put up $500,000 right now if you can find a single girl I've ever paid to come to my event, to hang out with me, to do whatever. Just ask them. They're all tagged." And I realized after a while, I was like, no matter how many times I said it, the fact that I have girls that look like that hang out with me and I don't pay them, it really fucks their narrative so badly that they like the only thing they can do is attack me. That's the only thing they could do. So, and then
yeah, wait till you tell them that you can get paid for throwing parties.
Yeah, exactly. Like I get paid. It's like they'll show a picture of me in a bikini competition, whatever. They're like, "You paid those girls." I'm like, "No, I got paid $20,000 to throw this event," and then I end up dating, this girl from it. So, that's the thing. They want to oversimplify it or whatever, and they just don't, because the way it works is usually guys are like, either no, the shit doesn't work, or you pay the girls. Or if it's real, then it's something weird or immoral or something. They can't just admit that it works. They have a real hard time with that.
Probably the one that annoys me the most. I mean, like, at the end of the day, I don't give a shit that much either way. There's probably two that annoy me the most. Number one is lies about my girlfriend. Like, oh, she's a fucking Colombian escort who's with Alex for like the fucking visa when she's like a U.S. citizen. I even showed her live stream once on a live just to disprove that. And the second is people who pretend like they tried my app. Like they're like, yeah, I tried Firetext, it doesn't work. And then I call them out and it turns out they've never even installed it. So people who just like make up shit about trying my stuff that they've never actually tried or even know how to download. Those are probably the two just stupid ones.
So Alex, if we want to get under your skin, we basically have to do that. Good.
Nah, it doesn't really get under my skin that much. I'm just pretty numb to like all kinds of insults. Alex, would you do a feel in Russia with hot Russian girls? Probably not. I think it would be risky. I think Russia is always looking for Americans to arrest. I don't have a Russian citizenship. I just have a straight U.S. citizenship. I think they're always looking for U.S. citizens so they can trade them later for their own kind. You saw that with Brittany Griner, I believe her name was. I mean, she just had a fraction of a gram. Yeah, and she did 5 years in jail. Eventually, she was traded for like some fucking arms dealer. So Russia is is not above that. If I was a Russian citizen, as a dual citizen, maybe I feel more comfortable. But yeah, I wouldn't even go to Russia. Fuck that.
Have any of you guys been to Estonia?
No.
Mm-mm. Nice. Apparently, it has the best English speaking in the Baltics, and it's right across from Finland.
Yeah, I've had a lot of students go there. If you're just going by yourself and you're not looking for like huge volume, I say that it's probably not good to do a boot camp there. But if you're just going for yourself, then yeah, I've heard it's really good.
Let's do one more question. Alex, any advice for Miami game? Guys, sweet job there, and I get a lot of matches, but then numbers compared to other places. Firetext works 50% of the time. When you say 50%, I just need some clarification. So Firetext, when you hit generate, generates 5 suggestions. So if half of those suggestions, like 2 or 3, every time you generate are good, then that's really, really good. Then like that's exactly what it's supposed to be. You can always, if you're having a hard time, like you're not getting the answers you want, which is why we're like the only AI texting app that allows you to fuck with the back end, and you can change the creativity setting. You can give the AI instructions. I don't know any AI app that allows you to change the creativity. So there's things you can do there. In terms of Miami, it's really no different than any other major city like LA or whatever. There's a lot of, contrary to what you see on like Red Pill podcasts, most girls in Miami are normal people. They work normal jobs. They do their thing. They just happen to be hotter than the average girl.
They just happen to have BBLs, all of them, and sugar daddies.
No, but that's still a small percentage.
There's zip code is Biscayne Bay on a yacht.
Yeah, but yeah, just like if you walk, there's a lot of popping areas. Like go to Wynwood, go to Brickell, go to South Beach, go to Fort Lauderdale. You'll see a bunch of hot girls walking around. Talk to them. Some of them will be super receptive, and yeah, there you go.
How can you have an apartment and throw parties? Okay. So like let's do the first one. How can you have an apartment
and throw parties? You have cool neighbors or a corner unit to keep the noise down. I actually, when I throw parties, it doesn't have to be super loud. And mine are not that big. We play card games. Card games and drinking games don't require a lot of noise in order to do it. And maybe it's just because here at Panorama, my neighbor, it actually works with me. So he doesn't have an issue with it. And I don't know who the neighbor is on the other side, but I have not had a huge issue with that. I just don't think the problem is the party's like, oh, okay, it's a party. Let's turn the music all the way up. And it's like, you don't need that. That doesn't really help. So I'm more of a fan of like having cool things to do and drink and see and having a cool balcony. I think parties like that are a little bit easier to do. They don't have to be super loud.
What is your view, Michael?
I can see right in front of me is what's it called? The Aria. So, like, if you were outside my balcony, you would see it's probably a 1,600 foot drop, 160 foot drop, and then to the street, and then you see the I-15 freeway. Then directly across from me is the Aria Hotel.
That's funny because the building I live in has the same name.
Panorama.
Aria.
Yeah.
Small world. Okay. Well, let me just answer this. Alex, what app do you own and what's the name of the app? It's Firetext. There's two that have the same name. Mine is the one with more reviews. It's by ZH Creations, which is my business partner. So check it out. You get 3 free days trial when you join. You can use that to fuck around and test it out. We're kind of hitting 2 hours here, but fun stream. Michael, I'm totally down to do that Doge debate in the future.
I just asked one question. We can definitely go over. I think it's going to take a while before we figure out all the implementation of it. But yeah,
okay.
I want them to screw up. I want them to go so far that they have to bring stuff back. That's when we know we're good.
That's already been happening with like the nuclear people and whatnot. But yeah, sure. we can definitely do that. What's your maybe it could be a 2v2. Austen, what's your take on Doge?
Oh, I'm 100% on the side of shredding the government.
Yeah, all right, Alex, let's do this.
Yeah. Next time we should do a 2v2. We can talk about it, but yeah, we'll have massive disagreements. It's better than I can't have Austen on my side because every time I do that, he just betrays me and goes over to the other one. So
check the I was looking at some of your old lives and I found that video, and dude, look at the comments under it. They're like, Austen stood for his own intellectual honesty. He didn't like just get swept into like this debate. He didn't even understand that what was going on.
Fuck that. That was fucking gay. You betrayed me.
Wow.
Dude, read the comments on it.
Like, I don't give a shit about what some losers in the comments have to say. It doesn't change anything.
All right, that's fair enough. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in.
Drinking super gay.
I don't drink personally.
I don't drink.
I mean, if you want to have a couple of drinks, drink whatever.
Yeah,
listen,
it's just a little.
If you want to have a couple drinks to be social, then that's fine. I would recommend you don't have any drinks. And what I would say you do instead, if girls want to drink, let them drink. But like as a man, it's like I don't have anxiety. Oh, 2 girls want to come home with me and have sex with me. I better drink and get drunk. I'm so nervous. Like no, bro, I'm ready to go. So work on doing maybe 50 approaches to get over your approach anxiety instead of getting drunk. The real answer is this. If you're using drinking as a crutch to get over anxiety, approach anxiety, uneasiness, awkwardness, no. That's wrong. That's very fucking weak. Don't do it. It's never going to work. That perfect point where you feel confidence, that next drink, now you go into like you're unconscious. Like you're just below consciousness and you're just worthless.
Every student I have that fights me on this, they'll fight me on this. And then 6 months later, they're like, you're so right. You were so right about the alcohol. I quit. My life's so much better. I'm getting hotter girls, whatever.
You see the guys get hammered drunk and you just take their girl and you're just like, because they're sitting there fighting with some dude or whatever. It's just the worst, bro. They can't drive. And I'm like, I can drive. My car's outside. I'm a DD. I'm leaving the club. I'm fucking in shape. I can go out whenever night because I don't have a fucking hangover, all this kind of stuff. And I don't have anxiety talking to women. So I go do that and then I leave and then I'm taking your girl. You're getting drunk. You can't drive. You've lost your girl. You got stuck in the bathroom, whatever, man. It's just alcohol for men. I've just never understood.
Yeah.
And like any metric that you want to get better at, it makes you less physically attractive. It makes you lose gains in the gym. It makes your dick not work like as good as it could.
Makes your game.
You can't make good. Yeah, exactly. Your game toward the end of the night, your decision making is not as good. Like it doesn't. And also it increases your it literally decreases your testosterone. It's like it's literally one of the gayest things. If you want to feminize and make yourself trans, like the ultimate, like what's it called? People that drink a lot, they almost always have some kind of like testicular issue where it like fucks up
there's
their
an issue
balls.
with testosterone. Yeah, it really also protein synthesis. It hurts with protein synthesis when you drink a lot. You know, for you to be able to
here's a scary statistic that will keep you from drinking. Did you know that about 95% of the time when someone fucks a fat girl, it's because they're drunk?
99% of the time, dog. 99% of the time.
That's fucking terrifying. I'm going to be watching my kombucha intake because
if I think about it, like all the most unattractive girls I ever fucked was when I was drunk.
There's some in here talking about 50 approach. They seem to be confused when I said 50 approaches. If you guys come do Vegas immersion in here, every client must do 50 approaches every night that you're here for 7 nights.
You can do 50 approaches in one day. It's not even like that.
I mean, it's not a big deal. I guess it's a big deal to them, but yeah, you do 50 approaches to start. Yes.
Yeah.
Michael, what's your ratio of girls that you invite to parties that show up now versus when you didn't have Instagram or like back in the day? Like I would imagine that the more proof you have on your social media increases the show up rate, right?
Yeah, so it's kind of the opposite. I didn't start doing these parties until I got invited to host Karma's parties. So Karma used to be in charge of the Maxim and Playboy parties, and I was when I was one of recruiting girls for them, and then when I started doing bikini competitions, I did those, which grew my social media. But as far as the number of girls that show up, I'll tell you right now. Depending on the offer, depends on the proportion of women. So if it's Ignite Party, Maxim Hot 100, or the Playboy Mansion, it was like 80-85%, very few flakes. If it's some girl's birthday party and all the other girls know her, usually very few flakes. But if it's like comp dinner, comp table at a club, and these are industry girls, you're going to have a lot of flakes. So it just depends on what the offer is. For my birthday, I usually have, like 40, 50 girls show up. So usually that one does really well. But other stuff I do, like I'm taking some girls to see Deadmau5. He's starting a residency at XS on Saturday, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. And I'm probably going to invite 200-300 girls, and I'll probably have, I don't know, 30 of them show up. I'm not sure.
And when you're inviting these girls, are you having someone message for you? Like, do you have an assistant that you can access?
It's a great question. It's a great question. If it's my bikini competition, I have to get a VA because that's 4,000 girls I got a message. If it's for my birthday, I'm only inviting just fucking really hot girls. I will say this. A couple of girls who weren't that hot snuck into my birthday last year. I was pretty pissed about it. Yeah, dude. And they tried to get into the front, into all the fucking pictures. I was like, get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out.
I like looking at the photos. I'm like, what the fuck? Get the fuck out of here. But I will say for my birthday, that is probably an 8-hour job by a VA. My VA lives in, I have one who lives in Romania and one who lives in Mosul, Iraq. And they're the ones who do the invites for me. I have 2-factor authentication. I've never had a security problem with it. But yeah, no, I do invite. So maybe once a quarter, I'm going to go through my entire list and have a big blowout party. So it's going to be Maxim, Hot 100 or Maxim Super Bowl or something like that, or Babes in Toyland or something like that. And I'll invite my entire list. The trick is not how many girls show up. Actually, Austin, the trick is how many open threads you can get.
Wait,
if you get a fucking ton of open threads, you'll show up on a girl's explore page, even if she doesn't follow you. It's crazy how it works. The trick is just to get as many open threads as possible.
Here's a question that I'm kind of curious about. Have you had Leela, I think he's trying to say Leela Starr on your podcast?
I know her, but I have not had Lena on my. So I actually was with Lena 3 weeks ago at ADN.
Oh shit! Could you put me in touch? I would love to interview her.
She's a judge. She was a judge. I put you with Ryan Ponwall. You know who he is? He runs a Pillow Talk podcast.
No.
Yeah, he's he runs that. So I was just saw her the other day.
Cool, awesome. Whoa. All right, guys, I got to skedaddle. Fun stream. We'll be back next week. Take it easy, everyone.
Easy, catch you.
Hey guys, those of you who had a question, I saw some of you had a question we didn't get to. Just message me on IG or come on the MOA forum on school. Take care, guys.
Or message me and my sales guys will message you guys back.
Take care.